Hello. Apparently, you couldn't hear all of our beautiful spots. Hopefully, you made up some good sounds in the back of your head, just knowing that Nathan yells at you in a few of them. You could
All
hear
of
it,
them.
and all of them, even the
All,
ones he's
all
not.
the ones I'm in, I yell.
Even the ones that he's not in, he's yelling in the background. You just didn't get
It's
to hear
called
it.
passion.
Yeah. Well, hi, my name's Jared Sarton, and we're going to kick this wonderful episode off. Here be dragons, the crew here. We have Lindsay as Volari, Nathan as Garth, Lauren as Ari, and the other Jared as Sir Thadric. Yeah, you couldn't hear about our sponsors, but you can take a look. There's links below in Twitch chat. You can see them. I think Nathan will be firing off some of our Twitch handles here. Exclamation, sponsors, gets you all of them there. Take a look. There's some really great things going on. So feel free to look there. And just a reminder, you guys can affect the show in multiple ways. You'll see in our little scroller to this side of me, my right screen left, you'll see in there's a few things that come up that you can affect the way we play, what happens in the story. At certain tip levels, you get to introduce some fun stuff that happens. We do read comments, so please have fun, chat with us, give fun little things that our cast can try out. The DM will keep note of any things that you might say, oh yeah, if Garth just needs to explode from some fire, then I'll remember that in the back of my head. If Garth needs to accidentally cast fireball near him, no, just kidding, I won't do that. I can't make Garth do anything that he's not wanting to
That's
do.
Volari.
That's Volari, yeah, but we're just saying, whatever you guys want to do. The higher the tip, the more. No. Yeah. So we do engage with all of you guys. We do have some of our stream points going on too. So you get to boop the snoot by turning in some of your TikTok bucks that you've been piling up for now about 2 years. Thank you for being here for all those 2 years. So you can boop the snoot, feed the dogs a snack. And the best one on there is definitely give Nathan some healthy vegetables. So there's that. And then we're going to dive into the show unless you guys have any questions, comments, or ripe tomatoes to throw towards Nathan.
We don't have any tomatoes to be eaten on stream. Sorry, those are technically a fruit.
Okay.
Botanally, yes, but culinarily, they are a vegetable.
Yeah, but we're a botanist.
That's the best response I've ever heard to that, Jared. I love it.
Now,
also, Congress ruled that pizza's a vegetable, Nathan. You could take advantage of this.
Wait, when did they rule that?
Like 1997 or something?
Does that mean wine is a fruit?
We have pizza in the fridge!
We do.
Jared, you could have saved that for a few episodes.
I already prepped a bowl of veggies for you.
Oh.
Yeah, it's up to Lauren, really.
Sorry, buddy.
For dinner.
Well,
at least I get pizza.
We're gonna dig in, and we'll see when Nathan digs into his vegetables soon enough. By the way, you guys interact with us. I believe last time that we had seen this party, they had gone down a long staircase, gotten past a few creepy crawly creatures who wanted some of their magical items, and made their way into a room. In this room, there was a bridge that went over a pool of liquid in the center. The liquid sloshing back and forth as if it had waves, flashing bright white, and then the deepest black of the liquid, and it just would ebb and flow. Garth had done some experimentation and got his finger in the liquid and turned himself into a child, and then overaged himself. As they had figured out what was going on, this pool dealt with aging in some way, shape, or form. The party had crossed the bridge to see the door on the other side, and in the middle there was a large skull emblazoned. And in the room, they had noticed there was a few dead bodies. Well, more than dead bodies, they were skeletons. They'd been here for quite some time. So, party, with that, what do we do?
Well, there was what it said. On the door again? It said life or death.
I believe it said give and take.
Give and take.
2 separate words. Give and take.
Give take.
Yes.
Well,
Correct.
everyone, would we like to give or take? Personally, I think we should give. It's nicer.
We went through the bags of these, or like we searched the bodies, right?
The
No.
charred
Corpses.
remains.
There wasn't much searching, if any.
Yeah, it was like okay.
So what you do notice as you're looking at the remains, one of them looks like they'd been stabbed. There's a dagger still kind of hanging between the bones. It's rusted out. Not a very beautiful dagger, but it seems to have been in the upper chest cavity. And then the other seems to be having a self-inflicted crossbow wound, a bolt kind of sticking up through the middle of the skull, and the crossbow leaning up against the chest. So it seems like there was some death that had occurred here. And I believe there was one more skeleton in the room, but you didn't see any reason that it had died. But there were three skeletons, one in the upper right corner, if you're looking just at the map flat, and one in the bottom left corner, the door at the upper center piece here.
Can I do a medicine check on the one that Jared thinks probably just starved to death?
The third one that
Versus-
doesn't have a self-infliction.
Yeah.
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 Feel free to roll on that, sir.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. 25.
25. So as you are able to look across the body, the skeleton doesn't give you many clues as to how it died, but you do notice between some of the joints of the bones and in a couple like small fractures on the bones, they seem to have a very dark like substance. It's hard in structure, but it very much resembles the darkness of the liquid that Garth was able to scoop on the splashes.
Oh, okay. All right. So it looks like this one maybe tried to drink some of the death liquid or old liquid. Getting older, dude, liquid.
Mm-hmm.
So it took his life. Like the door says.
Part of me wonders if one person gives years and one person has years taken away, if one person ages themselves and the other de-ages themselves, we might be able to line it up to where we are almost the same. Does that make sense?
But we're all different.
Doesn't involve my sword, so
Oh, right. Yes. So the idea being, remember when I got older
yeah,
and then I got younger?
yeah.
Actually, it was the other way. Well, I got younger and then older
And then
younger.
Yeah.
My idea is if I were to become older, let us say, and I go on to the give side and maybe, I don't know, I don't want to touch this yet until I figure things out. But let's say I lay a hand on the give and someone lays a hand on the take. They take the life away, but then they would age with whatever I had given them. Perhaps that transference is what will open this door.
Maybe.
Let me explain it again.
No, I get it.
Oh, okay, good.
It's just if you're wrong.
Well, yes. There's always that.
We talked about what kind of door this was, right?
Yeah, it was
What it was made out of.
it looked like it was stone, but you do see some wood underlays. So it looks like it was a very finely crafted piece. And as you've knocked on it,
It's a better door than the last
you believe that there may be levels of both metal and harder rocks,
Adamantine.
some obsidian in there. It's definitely a very strong door.
So it's an anti-Thadric door. Got it.
Yeah, it's an anti-Thadric door. You also, as you've touched it, you do feel like a hum that it might even be anti-magic. So it's definitely a dungeon master's favorite tool.
Did we Did we try feeding it the liquid and make it a baby door?
We didn't. I mean, I've got a vial of the liquid, right? I've got a vial of the youngin
Or you could
liquid.
make it
Yeah.
a really old door and then it's brittle, right?
An osteoporosis door.
Osteor. No, it's there. I gotta find it. Let me work on it.
As Thedric works on his joke, the rest of the players. What is it that you wish to do, party? I'm not gonna push you. I like hearing what your party is coming up with.
I'm gonna have a vial. There's a skull on the door, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's large. It's a couple feet in size in the center, and it's
Are there
carved
any
into it.
openings on the door, like any small holes or anything like that?
No, there doesn't seem to be anything for like inserting a knob, a handle, a hook, or pouring any vials or any of that. It's a fairly flat door with the etching only going maybe about an inch deep at certain places.
Hey, everybody, give me about 10 minutes, all right, yo? Cool.
Cool.
I start ritually detecting magic.
Okay.
So, don't know what y'all are gonna do for 10 minutes.
What is
but-
it that you do for 10 minutes while we ritually detect magic?
I will do something.
Thadric is preparing his jokes. Valari, Ari, anything you wish to do?
Push-ups.
Push-ups. All right, 10 minutes worth of push-ups.
Should we
Is
roll
there a
D100?
keyhole?
No, there are no holes. There's no keyholes. There's no like staff or post holes to use for leverage. There's no openings for pouring or inserting or depositing.
Cool. I do 80 push-ups.
80 push-ups. All right. You suffer a level of fatigue.
Sure, I could do those in my sleep.
It's only 8 a minute.
Yeah.
Well, she's
That's
got all
true.
that armor on, so
But my new Hydra armor, it's nice and light.
All right. Well, the party apparently just kicks pebbles for 10 minutes while we're waiting. There's no investigation. There's no other attempts for anything that you wish to do. No? Going once, going twice. 10 minutes of kicking pebbles later. Garth, detect magic is what you were casting, correct?
Yep.
What you see, the pool and the vial glow of a dark, like sparkly substance that seems very much necromantic to what you've seen in the past. It has hints of a bluish tint that comes through as something you'd know a little bit as divination that you're very, very well aware of. But the door itself is 100% glowing of necromancy. The rest of the room, however, doesn't seem to have much going on. You do see a few little traces of some of this across the floor as there had been drips and drops of your vial and potentially other vials that had come through with other travelers too. See that the room is stained a little bit in it, but it's very light across the floor. There's no other glows that you see within the room other than the door, the pool, the vial, and some light staining of drips.
That would be the new hype boss.
Hey, Sarah.
Was that
That looks like
was
Sarah
that your
B's
air
blood.
horn?
That was the Ari air horn.
All right, I just want to make sure.
So with the Ari air horn, Sarah BC1, thank you for becoming the new hype boss. Do call out who gets the reroll. Wait, sorry, the nat 20 for that one.
I was saying,
It's
don't
the nat 20. It's the nat 20. Sorry, I've mixed up my numbers. The nat 20 goes to somebody.
Yeah, we had cheers coming through. Scott Denuzo was trying to heal himself,
Oh.
but Sarah BC1's like, this is my hype
It was
boss.
a fight. It was a
Yep.
fight. Well, now with the new knowledge of the room, Garth, what do you wish to say or do?
Well, as I suspected, it seems that this door itself runs off of necromantic magics. So it seems like in some way, shape, or form, it is going to be taking life. If I make my... What?
Yeah, somebody redeemed it. You gotta eat your greens.
You can pick 2. You can mix and match, or you can do.
I can pick 2? What are these rules? What?
They're smaller, so
Okay, I will have...
going for cucumber.
Jared, you wanted me to eat a cucumber today, right?
What's your second pick?
I'll get there when I get there.
What are you doing about this door, Nathan?
I'm eating the vegetables.
So right now, Garth is pondering his new information and pulls out a cucumber from his pack and bites angrily into it and is crunching away. For those of you who are audio only, Nathan is very, very into Garth at the moment and really channeling his frustration and pain with the vegetable that he found in his pack.
It's Lucas Martinez. Look, I'm not going to sit here and eat a full-size carrot for the entire stream, turning myself orange just for 20,000.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
So what were you saying, Garth, about this the door?
Well, it seems it seems that it is necromantic in nature. So I do believe that it would be taking
Death magic?
yes, taking some sort of life. So if we give it life after having technically a baby carrot is a full-size carrot. It's just very young. Miss
Not
Martinez.
true.
No,
a
it's
regular
made
carrot that's cut.
from whole-size
Nope.
carrots.
Not the ones we buy. We buy naturally tiny carrots. That's my story.
I'm sticking to it.
Does anybody have dynamite?
I mean, it's a magical door. We've already seen part of this place cave in behind us. I don't think we really want to bring the room down. You know what I mean?
Well, you said it was necro, right? You said that
Yeah.
out loud? Yeah. What if,
And
like,
the substance is also necromantic, and I swirl the vial, but also has some sort of like divine magic to it.
Too
what if
bad
I,
that
like,
little dude,
turn undead?
that little
Maybe
dude
the
who
door
met
will
us-
turn open.
Too bad that little dude who met us in the pillow tent world isn't here.
Oh yeah, to just be like, here you go, yo.
I feel used.
I think. Oh, you mean that guy? Oh, you mean Kreslin?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think if I like hold the swirling light liquid, if I dip my finger in this liquid, it should make me younger again, and I should be able to give life, aging me. That seems like right.
Okay,
Right?
fine. Let's do it.
Who wants a few extra years, huh?
For what? No. What?
Who tends to, which of,
Wait,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, I don't know about tiefling lifespans.
They're, I believe, ever so slightly longer than a human.
I mean,
So,
I
and it,
I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know how old I am anyways, so whatever.
I'm just thinking who would live the long, like who has the most naturally long lifespan, and it would be Garth, I believe,
Mhm.
because I'm only
Yeah.
half.
I'm about, I'm like, I was 49. I think I might be a little,
whoa, what?
yes. We've never really gotten into how old, I'm pretty sure I had a birthday, but again, after the little back and forth, I think, honestly, I
Wait,
feel a little more spry.
wait, is Ari getting cold feet?
Ari knows nothing about the shenanigans going on. But I would just say Ari is 20, so.
Mm.
It's about the same in halfling years.
I mean, yeah, it is, honestly.
That's
Garth's
right.
Garth's
It was
kind of like
Frodo's
ish
50th
30.
birthday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Age is just a number anyway.
Right? That's why all the older male actors marry all the younger or female actresses.
No, that's because of our sexist culture.
I've
and
lost
the
audio.
valuing of male aging, but the lack of
Working.
value we place on female beauty as they age. But that's another topic for another
you
day.
cracked into something else right there.
But
Lauren and I are just like,
Anyway.
okay, we're gonna keep our mouth shut on this for now.
sure. Thadric? Thadric, where'd you go?
Thadric is currently plugging his ears.
He's just at the bottom of this, constantly going baby to 1,000 years old to a baby.
He just stuck his face right in the water. I think Thadric
Right
is
in
plugging his ears or currently lost audio because wonderful wizardry of the tech here. Yes, we can still hear you. Good call out there. Yeah, so we are looking at who's going to be touching the door and drinking or touching certain liquids, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think if I seem to just touch the liquid the last time and it took years away, so I should become younger now and then I could give even more and I think it's worth a shot.
We're nominating you and Thad.
It's fine with me. Thadric, my boy!
He's still plugging his ears.
Meanwhile,
Wonderful.
just
Does
a
he have any
reminder, we
actual
did
problems?
add more
problems.
options for
Okay.
Oh, okay.
channel points.
I thought I scared him off with my
That's why the dogs are.
soapbox.
Yeah, so while we're waiting with wonderful technical issues, because this show always has them, we know how to do it, so we do it right every time. Technical issues aside, Lindsay was calling out some of the new channel point options. There is a couple hungry sharks pacing over here because we have dog treats available for if you don't want to treat Nathan with his wonderful vegetables. The puppies here are ready to get a treat themselves. That's
No
channel
joke,
point
they
redemption.
are like laser focused on these like jerky up here. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
But the puppies like it. Nathan doesn't. That's what's
Yeah.
fun.
they would
But
eat
puppies
those
are cute.
veggies. They love that shit.
Love the puppies, everybody.
Spend your points on the dogs. Quit. Does that mean?
Because I know Lauren's got the points to make me eat vegetables.
Does that mean we do have our Thadric back? He's no longer plugging his ears.
Yeah.
Perfect. Welcome back,
Yeah.
Thadric. What was decided is that you would be one of the ones touching the door along with Garth while we
Oh,
were.
crap.
Yeah. Sorry,
Wait,
Sarah.
but I don't want to get older.
Touch the water.
What? Whatever. Trying to kill Thadric, I guess. See how it is.
If you want, I mean, I could take the age and take a gamble on touching the liquid in. I don't know.
I just like. And I'll look at Garth. I'll be like, there's someone. If I get much older.
That's true. Here. And he says, you go younger, I'll go older. Take. Giving would make you younger, taking would make you older. Right? That makes sense, right?
That's how I understand it.
I'll
but
give
I
you
don't
some of my
understand
life.
much.
You go younger, and then I'll make you older again.
Okay.
Subs for days.
Sarah BC1!
Is there BC1 sub hype?
Gift in those subs!
Thank you for the sub gifts. All right, so we've decided Garth is going to get older and Thadric is going to get younger. Is that how we're doing it?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So you each have a vial of liquid, correct?
Yes.
Yep. I want to make sure they're the same size liquids.
Did it happen again? No.
Wait, it did.
It did. Okay, I thought
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw it. Our hype train.
There we
Hype.
are.
Hype boss.
Hi, boss.
boss.
Hype
I
boss.
want the Ari air horn, please.
Scott Denuzo
Thank you.
is the hype boss. Do let us know who gets that nat 20. Did we
Scott.
get the
Choose wisely.
Did we get the last one settled from Sarah?
Yeah, it went
No,
to
Sarah-
me.
well, she
I
did?
said thank
She gets
you.
the Larry.
Oh,
cool.
Nice. All right. So you have what seems to be roughly the same amount of liquid in each vial. How do you want to accomplish this? Are we drinking, pouring, sticking your finger in the
Harder than
vial?
you think.
I mean, all I had to do was touch it last time. I don't know if we want this inside of us.
No, do not drink that.
I
You
mean-
don't drink death magic.
I mean,
You
like,
just-
I'm taking your lead, bro.
All right. I think what we do is I just kind of take the vial and do what I did before, because all I had to do was have it like splash up on my hand. What's happening?
You got the nat 20.
I did?
You did. To make you think that Scott actually liked
Oh, thanks, Scott.
You successfully tricked me.
And that stealth check goes to Scott Denuzo.
Wouldn't it be deception?
Deception, stealth, any of it. He just deceived Nathan and snuck in that free nat 20. So you're
Mhm.
looking to pour it or stick your finger in the vial is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Cool. And butt spot
Butt,
goes
I mean.
on. So let's do a sleight of hand roll for both of you to make sure you get like just your timing and depth in this. Garth, I'm sure you explained that you want to do the same timing to just like stick your finger in.
Yep.
Do you have like a timing or an age or something you want to look for, or are you just sticking it in until you say stop?
I think all we do is like we just we kind of practice. You know, just like
We get the nod.
Poke
Yeah.
the water. Poke the water.
boom.
Now, you're sure this isn't a search for traps roll and a sleight of hand roll instead? Because one of them's real good, one of them's real bad.
You want to search for traps, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Instead of the sleight of
I
hand.
mean, if you want to search for traps before putting your hand on the door, by all means, let's roll that.
I think he's looking for traps in the. Oh, yeah.
I'll look for traps everywhere, and it's a natural 20, so I find all of the
You find
traps.
all of the traps. What is your
31.
31.
For search for traps.
With 31, you look around and you almost feel like you get a detect magic sense because 31's a great roll here. You don't seem to notice anything that sticks out. What does bother you though is that liquid as it washes up on like the fake waves that are happening in this pool. It seems like there's something in a few tiles near the edge that might collapse or clamp onto unsuspecting souls if they step on a certain tile at the edge of the water. But from where you're at, you can't quite tell what that is. The tiles you see, there's one on immediate sides of the bridge, and then there's one a few feet away, and you can easily point those out if your party goes back by the water.
Yeah, I'll say, watch yourself by the water. You could get stuck forever.
The door and the vials don't seem to set off any of your trap detection senses, your spidey senses
The
there.
whole room's a trap.
I mean,
It's a
other than
trap.
that.
Crap.
All right. You ready, Garth?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it.
All right, so explain to me what you're doing exactly, and we'll make a roll.
So we've got the vials.
Mhm.
We're just like dipping our finger in as quickly as possible. It's like 1, 2, 3, go.
Poke.
Are you touching the door? Are you standing near the door? I know you're contemplating what to do with that.
Oh, so after the whole aging thing, I just figured we would each touch the given. So like if
Okay.
I'm getting older, then I will give life, and I will put my hand on give. And if he's getting younger, he will put his hand on take life, so that we can hopefully even things out.
All right. Sleight of hands for your poke the liquid in the vial.
Oh my.
You're using a
That
reroll?
doesn't feel like his.
Okay.
21.
21. Garth, did you have a reroll that you used there? Is that what I saw? Or did you?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw you roll and then roll again, but that was just you reaching for your dice. Perfect. Thadric, what did we get?
I must have missed the like pull your hand out part.
One.
Modified, it's a 3.
Oh my goodness, no!
Naturally, it's a 1.
So you see Garth like just dip his finger in, but like
Thadric,
Like
Only we
Thadric-
want to
Thadric gets his
reroll.
finger
Thadric's
stuck.
stuck.
So
And he
because
pulls
like
and it's like
this?
splashing on
because of the years that Thadric has spent at the forge, his fingers have gotten a bit more girth than Garth's does. Garth can quickly poke into the vial, and then Thadric sticks his finger in and it gets caught, and he's like shaking it around. And as you see that, you see Thadric get younger and smaller. You see the facial hair get to just little patches, and then he shrinks and sucks right into his armor. And then you hear a quick "Eh," and then silence at that moment.
No! I'm guessing his finger's not in the thing anymore.
I pick up the armor and look for a baby.
As you look, the armor seems to be emptied at this moment. We see that Thadric has reduced himself back to day 1 embryo cell.
I'm a
Could be
zygote.
worse. There could be just a sparkle that looked like it used to be in his father's eye.
Potentially. Thadric currently is nowhere to be found. And now as that happens, Astro lets out a little yelp and looks around as the presence of one fellow member of the party is now gone.
Pour the black liquid out where the armor was. Pour it.
But no, the whole point.
No, I got rid of
And
that guy
Can't
finally.
do anything as a cell.
Wait,
Am I
is
at
he a
least
cell or is he
dividing?
a baby?
He's gone.
I don't understand because I heard a baby cry. So is there baby or no
There's
baby?
no baby. You
He's a
watch
cell.
Thadric very quickly morph back to potentially a cell or nothing whatsoever. Reactions, thoughts.
Oh.
I pour whatever liquid I've got just into the area.
I
You-
pull Astro back.
You pull Astro back. You pour the liquid across the clothing. Nothing happens.
Oh no, we just
Um,
Um,
let's go to Thadric for a second here.
we just Benjamin Button.
Can we?
Let's go to Thadric here. Thadric, you feel your existence like rolling back. You feel the almost inverse pains of like losing teeth and gaining back your child teeth, and you feel like reverse growth pains, and it's a very weird experience for you. And as you sink into your armor and you look out the top of like the neck hole, the moment that everything goes black, you are suddenly found floating up above your armor, and you feel like you haven't changed, you haven't moved, you haven't gone anywhere, but you're floating up above your armor and seeing the party members freak out and start grabbing at your armor and pouring the black vial of liquid across your armor. As you're floating there, you feel this weightlessness, and you're able to see a bit of yourself in a more ethereal form. What is it you do?
Am I aware of how it happened? Like, I can put together that I was too much in the liquid for the most part.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
you know exactly what happened. You feel like you blinked as you sunk into the darkness of your armor, and you opened your eyes, and now you're floating up above your armor. The world in and of itself seems a bit dim and dull. And as you're looking around, you do notice you see a few specters floating about, a few other ghosts of sorts floating around, and you can see through the walls almost, but they're into different rooms and rooms that you've never seen before, almost as if you're getting a sense of a different plane.
Get a mentor, find your passion, and then jump down the portal to Earth.
I feel like...
Don't become a cat.
See, it's hard because Thad was following Garth's instruction.
Yep.
So, and Thad is not a smart man. So he may assume this is the intended outcome that Garth wanted. So I think Thad would try to see if he can pass through that door.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Thad, at this point, you do have ability to fly. You essentially are a ghost at this moment.
Zygote Thad to the rescue.
So,
Okay.
you're looking just to fly through the door? And
Yeah, I want to see if I can get through that door,
Yeah.
I think.
As you approach the door and you fly up to the door, the skull gets a etherealness about it and looks up at you, and you hear, "Welcome." And it kind of speaks in a very, I guess, tone that seems at the back of your head. And the visuals you see are very blurry and almost smoke-like on the skull itself. But it welcomes you, and you see it kind of grin at you. And as you approach the door, you see the door swing open, except the physical door doesn't seem to. The smoky version of it does. And you're able to pass through into a new room. And in this room, you do see that there's more ghosts, and they're all working away on stuff at tables throughout. Seems to be hammering and working on some metal on one table. On another table, you see vials of potions being poured, and it seems to be a workshop of sorts. And up at the front, there's a large desk, big stone desk that's got a handful of tools strewn across it. And this is all in a very smoky, ethereal look. But it's darkness beyond that. You can't really see the physical realm of this nature at the moment. And there's a lever that sits in front of the desk that is the sharpest picture that you can see. It looks very interactive to you. So in front of this desk that has all the pieces of tools strewn about it, there's a lever that you can move from the left to the right. It looks like it would take two hands to grab and open, and that's the most real thing in the room to you.
Well, I'm gonna grab that.
As you fly up to this lever, we're gonna hop back to the others in the room. So it's been a handful of seconds. This is all happening in real time to Thadric. You're unaware of any of it, as he actually passed into the ethereal realm, or the ethereal plane, which is just slightly above the material plane where you're at. Having poured the liquid on his armor and are freaking out, nothing has happened. No Thadric has returned.
We all saw me walking through the quick in and out, right?
I said poke.
Yes.
I said poke the
Right.
water.
Did you see what I did?
His
I
hands
poked
were
it.
too big. It got stuck. We killed him.
How old am I, BT Dubs? Because I did touch the water, and so now I'm older.
You've gained about 10 to 12 years of life because you just barely tapped it knowing what you needed to do. So you're around 60 halfling years old.
Yeah, so there's just a little gray has appeared at my temples. I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I mean,
I just start calling his name and feeling around to see him.
Thadric, you're able to hear a bit of their speak. It does sound like you're almost kind of underwater, so it's a little muffled. You hear your name being called out, and you're just like, I know that's me, but you're about halfway through the next room at this point.
Yeah,
Maybe if we can get through the door, we can find him or fix this. I know how to follow instructions sometimes. I'll try it if we want to.
Last time you poked your finger in something, someone else died. So
Okay, well, that was a medical check. my medicine and my maybe. Hold on, let me check that. My sleight of hand is a +3. Linz, how about you?
I mean, mine's only a +3 too, but I rolled well.
Why do you all have better sleight of hands than the rogue?
The one
that
level
is-
of rogue.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'll do it. We don't, we
Okay.
don't. I don't know how old I am, anyways. It
I mean-
doesn't really matter.
I mean, the thing is, we need to get more liquid because I'm guessing that what happened was he turned so
Well, how do we
young
look?
and it fell.
Why
Is-
don't I
is
just
there
poke my
any
finger
left?
in the water instead of trying to catch it?
That too. Just Thad said that there were traps or something near the water, so just if we're gonna do that, be careful.
Well, I just only have
Jared,
to
I
touch
want
the
to go-
tip. It's not like I'm gonna.
I want to go look at where Thad dropped things. Is there anything left in the vial? I'm just curious.
The vial is basically empty. It's got a couple drips left in the bottom.
Hey, there you go. Just pour the
so,
drip, and then you're.
Yeah, it would have to be a pour, but it
I-
might linger on your skin longer than one would intend.
Well, I do it, and I got a soft 20.
You do what?
With
she did.
she said there was a couple drips, so
Okay.
I was like, all right, fine.
All right, a soft 20 to drip it on your hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Garth, do you want to roll?
Yeah.
What?
Are you still doing more? Or
We
you...
already did
Okay.
it.
So
I'm not adding more.
so
I'm gonna see where she's at.
Valari, you drip it on your hand, and it runs off of the fingertip, and you lose about 12 to 14 years. So
What?
you are
So I'm like-
a late teenager.
No, I'm younger than that because I was only in my 20s.
Oh, you're only in your early 20s. So then you're about 10-ish.
Again?
Again,
I keep forgetting how young everyone is.
Deja vu.
all of your armor fits a little loose, and you feel your crossbow kind of clank against the floor as it hung low on your leg before it now touches the floor.
Hate when this happens.
Okay, hands on the door.
Yes, I will give you the life, and I hope that's how this door works.
You're putting your hand on
Give.
give. Valari, put your hand on take.
How do we know that the door isn't gonna take more?
We don't.
We don't.
There's literally the only hints are give and take, and here's some magic water. Like that's what we're working with.
Okay, bye. I put my hand on the.
You put your hand on the door.
Yeah, as she starts reaching, now that we're like the same height, I'm like, no, okay.
You both touch the door, and it has a tingling, burning sensation. First, it tickles, and then it feels like you've put your hand up against a pan that goes from hot to incredibly cold very rapidly. It almost sends shocks up your arm, and you feel it kind of go up your elbow and up to your shoulder, and almost rising up your neck. At that point, what you feel is a bit of the world shifting on you. Everything goes fuzzy in your vision, and as that happens, and Ari is watching, you slowly see Valari age back to about her normal self, and Garth reduce his age a bit, and the door starts to shift and creak a little bit. We're gonna swap over to where Thadric is, and Thadric had flown up to this lever. Thadric, I'm assuming you just grab the lever and pull.
Yes, grab it and yank.
Yeah, so Thadric, as you've grabbed and yanked the lever, what happens is you feel almost this suction behind you pulling you back. And as you turn and look over your shoulder to see what that is, you see the ethereal door that is wide open, split in the center, start to wave and shudder, and you feel that force is coming from there, and it pulls you back through rapidly into the other room. And as you get pulled into the other room, the ethereal door closes in front of you, and you look and you see Valari and Garth putting their hands up against this door and re-aging themselves back to where they came from, as far as their age goes. So both of you end up back to the unknown age of early 20s and 49, when all is said and done. But as that is happening, you, Thad, you see the ethereal door actually, once it's closed, slide down in front of you, and when it hits the floor level, you drop to your feet in the middle of the bridge as Thadric. Currently, Thadric, unfortunately, all of your armor is up by everyone else. So you drop back as Thadric in the buff, standing there. You feel a little thump on your feet, but what happens is you see color come back. You don't quite know what's going on unless you look down at your hands to see if you're ethereal or not. But you seem to feel like the world has come back together. And as you do that, the ethereal world dissipates. And at that moment, you hear a rumbling of the door, and the door physically starts to slide down. Garth and Valari, the sensation stops in your hands and all the way up your arm as soon as that door starts rumbling, and it starts to slide down slowly in front of you with a big rumbling clatter. Thadric's armor rattles on the floor a little bit as it shakes the room. Astro comes up next to Valari and is kind of looking at her like, what's going on? And the door slowly comes down. It takes about a full 30 seconds for the door to slide to the floor.
Sorry.
Buttbot
Buttbot did it.
Buttbot comes
Buttbot
in.
did it.
For those,
Scott Denuzzo says, Sir BC1, bad timing, naked Thad. And Buttbot goes, Sir BC1, bad timing, naked
there
butt.
it is.
That was perfect. End the stream.
Oh man, you're perfect.
Oh.
Would I have heard a thud? Like, cause I'm standing watching.
You were
Yeah,
watching.
sure.
You were watching what was happening with Garth and Valari, and the door almost immediately started making a shudder. If you'd like to roll a perception on it to see, then we can check. But it would have been.
Sure, whatever.
Let's see here. If you got a really good one.
No.
Nope.
Well, I have a +5.
Mm-hmm. Because of your alertness.
12.
12. You're not quite sure that you heard anything behind you as the room started to shudder
Cool.
as soon as the ages had like settled of the two party members. But with that, you just feel the room shaking and some dust comes down. So you're aware that the room seems structurally sound around you, but it rattles and thunks.
Okay. Guys, you did it! Now we just have to find Thad.
Let's go.
Would we have heard him land on the bridge?
Good job, dudes.
Wait,
I-
what? Oh
Turn
my
around.
gosh!
And then quickly turn back around. Thad's back.
He's just standing there, hands on his hips, looking up at all the dead dudes.
Garth turns around and says, that's not Thad's back.
Yeah, I'll scamper forward and put my armor on. Be like, there's like a bunch of like floaty dudes up there,
In here?
What?
like all around,
Where did you go?
all around.
Were you born again?
No, I went like
He is a cleric.
I was hanging out, and I saw you guys digging through my stuff. Then I was like, well, Garth wants me to go through this door. So I went through that door. And then there was like a lever that I pulled. And then like, now I'm here naked.
Well, why don't you put your clothes on and you want to tell us what's on the other side of the door other than a lever?
I mean, the door's open.
Is
I mean, yeah, I'll start getting dressed.
Yeah.
Like, it's all like wispy and wavy and stuff.
So-
When you pulled the lever, did the door open?
I kind of got pulled back through when I pulled the lever.
So we don't know what actually caused the door to open.
I mean, I could fly. How are you?
As Thadric is putting his armor on and making these little comments, you can see somewhat into the next room. It's fairly dark. So those with dark vision can see a little ways in. You do see that there are some really broken down tables to the side, some paper strewn across the floor. This room looks like it was abandoned in disarray, as far as you can tell. The desk, as I explained to Thadric, isn't very visible because it's on the far side of the room, which is about 60 feet in.
I'm gonna go in and start like investigating, seeing what looks like what it looks like they were doing here, like from the papers and.
And your sword
All that.
still glows, correct?
Yes.
Perfect.
I got a 13. No, yeah, 13 on investigation.
13 on
But
investigation.
my perception is a 15, so if I'm just like walking around, like I might notice more stuff.
All right,
than if I
all
were
right. So
looking.
we'll use your passive perception. As you walk into the room, you notice there's papers on the floor. Some of them have writing and diagrams on them. Some are crumpled. Some are laying flat. It's very dusty within the room. Off to your left, you do see a few little workstations, one small anvil, a couple heavy wooden tables with nicks and marks in it as if things were hammered on and really worked on heavily. Sarah BC1 is our new hype boss, so please let us know who gets the nat 20. But as Ari is walking through this next room, she's also noticing off to the right, there's some shattered glass on the floor and some thinner, lighter tables that look like they'd held places to write and to work on chemical nature. There's a alchemist station, as far as you understand it to be, that seems to be all broken apart, vials strewn everywhere, what's left of them, that is. And as you walk into the room further, you notice there's a large desk at the end of the stretch, and it's up on a small platform. And at this desk, there's a few papers, and around the outside, there's hammers of all shapes and sizes sitting at this desk. And on top of it, this large stone desk, there is a skeleton that is got its fists kind of clutched up on its chest. It has the remnants of a leather apron on. It looked like potentially one of the nicer aprons that you've seen, potentially the Forge Master. Above and behind this desk, however, there's a large suit of armor that it's got its hands over its face and kind of like crying over this dead member here. It seems to be a tribute from all you can understand it to be. And that's about all you can understand as you walk into the room. You don't understand what they were making or what was going on here, but you do see this tribute. Some of the papers across the floor look like there was some weaponry and some other things that were being sketched out, and then other things you don't understand.
Guys, I think I found the Forge Master.
Oh,
He
just-
gone.
Just clatters as I'm trying to pull on my pants and armor.
well, I mean, once you get your pants on, I'll help you with the armor.
No dice. It's all or nothing.
Okay, have fun with your armor, man.
After I get dressed, I'll go in and check out this room as well.
All right. Garth, Valari, is there anything you're doing, or are you just hanging back, making sure Thadric
I mean,
gets his
no,
pants
I'm-
on the right way?
No, I mean, the man should know how to dress himself. If he's not wanting help with armor, I'll go into the room.
All right. Do you have any sources of light on you, or are you just gonna try and find Ari's?
I was gonna use hers. Valari has dark vision, yes?
Yep.
She does, yes. Valari, are you going in?
Yeah, I'll go in and look around.
Do you want to roll any investigation? Or are you just gonna kind of saunter through
Yeah, I guess I can roll.
investigation, and then we'll fall back on perception if you need.
Can I, I mean, I don't know if it would be, you can maybe raise the DC if, with my if I roll investigation as well, just using Ari's light?
Yeah.
I
We'll do that.
got an 8, and then on investigation, and then a 16 on perception.
8 on investigation, then 16 on perception. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, did we just have a new hype?
We just did. It looks
Pew,
like.
pew, pew, pew. I'll do it for Laura. I'm like, babe,
I
babe,
missed it. I
babe,
just saw all the
babe.
like, bouncing puppies on the screen.
Oh, I need a snoot.
We've
Boop
got
the
a snoot to boop. We've got one sleepy snoot right here.
On camera.
Oh,
Yeah.
she is so sleepy.
Tink,
I'll boop the snoot too. Here.
come here.
No snoot booping.
Come here.
Perfect. Oh, DM Jared gets. Oh man,
I'm gonna need Scott to stop being the hype boss because this is getting dangerous.
this is amazing. Because Scott Denuzo was so incredible last time, I have a few nat 20s ready for you all.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Wow.
All right, so we have a 16. What was yours, Garth?
25.
25. Okay, Garth, you're able to come through, and with the little bit of light that you have, you do notice that some of these plans seem like there's a mix of alchemy, magic, and just hand labor. These plans look like they were building a few sets of tools. One looks like, oh, we got a puppy treat here. Thank you for whoever's treating us.
That was.
Oh, it was just a puppy treat because.
I had to bribe Tink over.
Oh, okay. So we have bribes. We have bribes and puppy treats. But so what you do notice is it looks like there was a bowl that was created here. We also have a hammer that was created. And you can't quite tell, but there seems to be a third item that was created here in this area of the forges. And
You said a
a
bowl?
bowl, yes.
Okay. And a hammer.
The hammer and some
With-
third item.
With the plans for the hammer,
Mhm.
as I make my way to where Ari is standing, do these plans line up and look like any of the hammers that I see in front of me?
Some of them yes, some of them no. But it seems like the ones that line up were on pieces that were either scratched across or crumpled up. So there seems to be a little bit of thought that maybe one of these hammers could be it, but there's a lot of like thrown away design and ideas.
Okay.
If we can spell Ari's name right, you'll get a boo boo boo.
Oh. that-
So what you do also notice, because
Spelled it phonetically.
phonetically, what you do also notice because of your high roll is when you get up to Ari, you do see with a bit more of that 25 because of the lighting that within the bones of the skeleton laying on this table, there's a bunch of little pieces of the black splinters throughout, and it's part of the bone. It's not like sticking out of the bone, but it seems as if like you fractured a bone and it fills in very quickly with a material. It was that black material. And you also see in certain areas, especially on the joints, there's a lot of the white material that covers the joints. That this humanoid here had some interaction potentially with the liquid before, or something else that caused them to have certain natures to the liquids you'd seen prior.
That's just a stream element, but I waited for an opportune time. You're welcome.
For everyone on stream, we have to stop using the TREAT word because Sarah has 5 dog vultures.
Oh,
We
man.
only have 2, so we can use other words that they'll respond to
man.
and not so much.
These
Nice.
girls respond to that too. Sorry, Sarah.
We'll call them, yeah.
It'll go on our list of naughty words. Dog candy is better. Yeah, so you do notice that there's splinters of black within the bones that essentially filled like fractures of a bone, and around all of the joints there's the white. It doesn't shine per se, but when the light hits it, it's brilliant. You can see the brilliant white and the incredible depths of the black. Valari, you do notice very similar things. What catches your eye is it seems that there's some weaponry plans. You do see a crossbow that looks kind of like one of the crossbows that you had owned in the past, a small dagger, and a few other things that look like they're trying to be built here, but you don't get any information more than like there's some weaponry built.
It's very interesting.
You said there's a third item that's missing?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Yeah, what's
So
that about?
So as you are walking through the room and getting a little bit of light, anyone else cast light? I mean, Thadric, you do have your shield, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So as Thadric walks through and more light fills the room, you do notice. Let me double check my listing here. As the hammers are sitting around the corpse or the skeleton, there's two crumbled in walls, one back behind the suit of armor and one to the right of the suit of armor if you're walking into the room. Thadric, you do notice that as well there are plans of a few different weapons, a lot of hammers and a lot of like bowls and container shapes on the floor as well, as you have the extra light. There doesn't seem to be like the hammer and the containers seem to narrow down on one thing, but you see a various amount of weaponry that is strewn across the floor.
Does it look like weaponry that's been used or weaponry that's been freshly forged?
You see mostly plans, but there are bits and pieces of weaponry off to the sides, mostly off to your left where all the work has been done. You do notice hilts of swords. You do see a few really broken down pieces of like mace heads and a few other pieces, but it seems that sword handles, hilts, and blades are the most common that are strewn off to the left.
So they're in pieces, not so much
completed. No,
like battle scarred stuff.
correct,
Okay.
correct. It's
All right.
very rough pieces that you see.
So like various stages.
Yeah, various
of
stages.
completion.
There's even a few that look like they're carved out of wood or made out of clay. Things that you don't quite have an understanding of, like as completed, but more as like an idea or a diagram of sorts.
Got it. And you said there's the suit of armor covering its face.
Covering its face and like leaning over the table. This armor actually stands about 8 or so feet tall, a little bit larger than a normal human. So it seems like a statue, a memory, a remembrance for this body.
Your detect magic isn't still going, is it?
That's what I was waiting to ask.
Yeah. All right.
Would detect magic last 10 minutes?
Yeah, your detect
Would it
magic
be
would still be going on just a little bit longer into this room. As you get in and you are looking across the room, the pieces that you see off to the sides all seem to have various sets of magic strewn about on them. There's a few handles that you see that are just like splattered with various magics. You do see magic all over a few of the tables as if it had been like sprayed and splattered and used incredibly haphazardly. And it's all very much faded, as if the magic is almost gone. But you do notice that there were remnants of a lot of magical happenings here, and you see that there's a little bit of magic kind of on each of the hammers, but nothing that's strong and vibrant, as if there's a need to go after one certain sort of thing. They seem to be enchanted in various ways, but nothing seems to be like a living magic piece at this moment.
We just got
Sarah VC1 at it.
that's the challenger one,
dang.
right?
No, this
That's
is
the
the
one
wild
that-
magic.
Two
There-
party and two non-party.
2 party and 2 non-party, which also means if there's no non-party, we get 3 party magics.
It could be good,
It could be good.
or we could all be dead.
Warren's like,
Let's
please be
let's,
invisible creatures. Please be invisible creatures.
let's keep talking a little bit about what we want to do while I get this magic lined up here.
They do seem to have been making magical weaponry and items. There's some sort of bowl that I don't know if I don't think I've seen the bowl. Designs for a hammer, and There are definitely traces of magic around here, but I don't know that any of these are the hammer. You know what I mean? Like, they're not
Yeah.
one we're looking for.
Well, like, what's the dude holding? Like, isn't he's clutching something to his chest, right?
It looks like he's clutching something to his chest. There is nothing in his hands at the moment.
Ugh.
As we get that wonderful donation from Sarah BC1. Thank you so much. I'm rolling
thank you,
against
sir.
our party here.
Against us?
You mean 4, right? Like
Against
In
4
reference
with,
to-
it doesn't really matter.
about.
All right, so
Between.
Garth, as you're looking about and you hear a rumble through the cavern, you look down and in your hand you have a burning collar. The collar sits in your hand and it feels like something that, if released, magic could happen. It's now clasped in your hand, and it's essentially on a dead man's switch. If you let go, something will happen. But it is a collar. It's got a couple spikes on it. It's bigger than what Astro would wear.
It's a collar? Like for a...
Like a
Like a
dog
dog
collar. Like a
collar.
dog collar, yes.
Is it open?
It is open. It's not clipped together in any sense. But you do have a collar that is burning. It's not causing any burning sensation to you, but flames are coming off of it.
Hey, you can see.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
Valari,
Yes.
you... Oh, why is that one silly? Let me roll again. You...
DM. Nope.
No, it was one that had like 6 roll tables on it. And I didn't want to run through 6 roll tables because it basically was just for the middle of battle and it wasn't pertinent here. So we're gonna make sure this is pertinent. Valari,
Yes.
a chill runs down your spine
Okay.
and you ooze a cold fog out of your mouth.
Ooze a fog
Ooze.
out of my mouth.
Like it drools kind of out of your mouth. As you do, you get a glow behind your eyes and you see that the floor has essentially turned to ice. The rest of the party doesn't see the ice. They do see the fog rolling out of your mouth. It doesn't cause you any pain or other sensation, but you feel that you can move incredibly swiftly at this point. The rest of the party does feel a little bit lighter on their feet. Valar, you see the full room turn to ice on the floor, because the room is only about 60 feet deep and 60 feet wide. And for the final,
I think the floor is ice.
is that what Valari shouts out?
Yeah.
The floor is lava.
No, it's
Alright, jumps on the table.
Now, as you are all looking about and Valari calls out, the suit of armor begins to catch fire and burn a bit. And as it does, it catches fire and it starts to creak to life and tilt its head back and forth. And you hear like a scream that's deeper within the armor. And the armor stands tall, and as it stands tall, it stands about 10 feet tall. And it looks about, and you hear creaking as it moves about. And as it's moving about, it kind of surveys the room. What is it you wish to do, party, as it's surveying the room? It's essentially in a state of trying to understand what's going on right now.
Hello, welcome to being alive. We did, despite the flaming object in my hand, whatever just happened to you, I want it out there, not our fault.
I would like to jump behind the table that's got the dead dude on it.
Like lean behind
that
it
where the
so
statue
it
was?
doesn't see
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
We're here to help. The council sent us.
It still creaks and looks around the room and like tilts its neck side to side. And then it lets out a bit of a roar and flames shoot out of the mouthpiece of the helmet.
Oh God.
As that
Gonna die.
happens, we need to roll for initiative.
We gonna die. I don't wanna die.
So, party, let's roll for initiative.
Hey.
Oh, why dice?
Alphabetically from the top, Ari.
11.
11, Garth.
8.
Cedric.
21.
21, and Valari.
Perfectly last in every way. I got a 4.
A 4.
For Astro, I have a 9.
A 9, is that with this +3?
Yes.
Okay. All right. As the flame spews out of the mouth of this metal armor beast, Thadric has jumped up against the big stone desk with the hammers. The rest of you are kind of back behind. Is there any quick action you'd like to take as it's surveying the room? Did you stand there and talk to it, or did you like back away as it started breathing fire?
Oh, breathing fire, I'm gonna back away.
All right. You're able to back about 10 feet back. As it is, I will allow about a half action. Anything else from the rest of the party as we kick off this
I'm
battle?
gonna say that Garth probably like was startled by that thing and drops the collar. Like just his hand opens enough to where the collar. He might like it. Might, I don't know if it starts falling. He'll probably like try and catch it. Like, oh no!
As you let go of the collar and you fumble at it, it hits the floor. An explosion of flame happens right next to you. You have a miniature hellhound that appears and looks you right in the eye, and it lets out a grumble, and then you see its fiery flame tail kind of make a flick back and forth and nod its head at you. You have a hellhound for a couple rounds to control.
Ha-ha!
So you may usher commands. The hellhound will go immediately following you. So in order, if you wish to use any of your vocal nature, you may shout things out. If it understands it, it will respond and continue with. If it doesn't, it will just stand by your side or do similar things to you.
Cool.
So let me add the hellhound here. And because Garth is an 8, we'll make it a 7 because it'll follow immediately. All right. And we are starting our battle. At the top of the turn order is Thadric, who is ducked behind the desk.
So this walking suit of armor that's on fire, does it appear to be on fire or emanating fire?
It seems like it's almost on fire, but flames are leaping up off of it, and as it had roared, it spewed out its mouth. It seems almost as if one would have doused a bit of armor in oil and then lit that. That's kind of the presence that we have.
All right. I don't know if this is gonna work, but Thad's gonna like glance his head up, take stock of the situation, and then he's gonna cast heat metal on the suit of armor.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Heat metal. Is there any rolls against it, or is it just a?
It is a. There is no save against it. Let's
Perfect.
see. You cause the object to glow red hot. Any creature in contact takes 2d8 fire damage until the spell ends, which is like 10 rounds or something. If it's holding or wearing, it takes damage. It can make a Constitution save to drop the item.
Okay. So you just try and light up this suit of armor.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah.
Cool. As you do, the suit of armor creaks and clunks a little bit as the pieces heat. Some of them around like the finer along the chest and at certain parts on the arm seem to kind of meld together a bit, and the suit of armor turns bright red and stays that way. Anything else for your turn?
Duck back down.
Duck back down. Perfect. Ari, you're next. You're about 10 feet back and you've backed up. What do you wish to do?
Yeah. It looks real hot. I normally rush right in, but I just got burnt earlier today, so I'm gonna back up another. Well, I would like to be 20 feet away.
Easy. As you back up 20 feet, you feel like you could back up another 40 feet if you wish.
I don't.
The room
I wanna be
feels easy to move about.
Yes, but that's right. I can move easily, but I want to throw my hand axe, and I need to be within 20 feet.
All right, so you back up. So you back up an additional 10 feet. So you're 20 feet away exactly is what you're attempting to do. So you back up about 10-ish feet and you grab your hand axe and decide to throw.
Chuck
Chuck it. Bop it.
it.
Twist it.
And that will be a 16.
16 does not hit.
'Kay.
So as you throw your hand axe, it bounces off of this molten armor, leaves a small dent in it, but it seems to not do anything to this creature here. All right. Astro is next, and he's on the floor looking about and catches sight of this hellhound, and he runs over and wags his tail up at it as it reminds him of a friend he's had recently. And he stands next to it and lets out a big bark and growls at the molten beast ahead. It is now Garth's turn.
Garth is going to feel the fates surge around him, and his knowledge sees the heating of metal is definitely happening,
Okay.
but it might actually slow it down to immediately cool said metal,
Okay.
like we saw in the first Fantastic Four movie, the genius of film that was.
Say what you want, but Chris Evans was the perfect Johnny Storm.
He was so good. He was so good. It's annoying how good he is at everything. But I'm going to cast Ice Knife.
Ice Knife. All right. Ice Knife. I believe you have to make a hit and then dexterity save?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, because no one should be close to this thing, so the dex save would only apply to him.
Yeah, if you're doing it within a 5-foot radius, it's back behind the desk. Thadric is ducked behind cover, so he's the closest, and he's clear.
Cool. So, I am going to just use a nice little gift that Scott Denuzo gave me. I'm just going to nat 20 that thing.
All right.
So that should do 1d10 of cold damage. So there's already 10 dealt via our beautiful rules. And now there's an extra 9 damage on top of that. So 19.
19, all right.
And it needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
It fails that.
Great. So are we going to treat the extra damage in the same capacity then?
Same capacity as damage type.
As
Nat
the
20
crit?
roll.
As a crit?
Yeah, it's as a crit.
So that's a crit. We'll
Cool.
continue it.
We've always done it that way.
So base 12 and add another 10. So an extra 22 damage.
Extra
cold
22
damage. So
cold damage.
the first damage was piercing damage, actually. 19 piercing damage,
Okay.
22 cold damage.
All right.
Pew, pew, pew.
So what you see is the ice knife hits. It kind of clinks up against the armor, and as it bounces up in front of the armor, it then explodes, and you see a bunch of small, like ice spikes stick into the armor, and where they stick, it turns into a very almost cracked metallic look instead of the molten hot red, and it slowly brings back a little bit of the red, but it leaves some dark spots in the armor as it glows there. Now, as you've made that throw, the golem sees you as its target here, as it took
that's what
pain. Yes.
I believe I also have a dog.
Oh, you do have a dog. Yes. Sorry. It missed my turn order this round. So what do you wish to command your hellhound to do?
I believe I've seen these hellhounds breathe fire.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna have him. I'm gonna say, "Run up over there and breathe fire, boy!"
The dog lets out a smoky yarp, and it runs off to the side, and it just like buries its paws right into the ground and kind of digs in and lets out a big bark. And as it would make a sound, usually the head goes up and the jaws just kind of open at a very unnatural length, and flame just spews up against this suit of armor. The spots that were once darkened by the ice knife are now molten red again, and the armor is red and on fire, and just continually looking more like a big humanoid ball of metal, and less like the armor as it starts to lose shape with all of this heat applied.
He's
Cool,
hot,
cool.
then he's cold.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, yes, and now he's like, no.
So now it's the Iron Golem's turn that stands in front of you, and it is dripping metal as it jumps up and over and lands in front of Garth and decides to give a punch at Garth. And because it decides it really wants to hit you with fire damage, as you've come
It
at
will.
it, I'm going to mark off one of my pool here of nat 20s.
How many do you have?
I've only got 2 left.
You've been hoarding them for how
No,
long?
I got 2 of them last show and I didn't have a way to use them. I can use them on you guys with rocks fall. Oh, apparently everyone does die. But I don't do that. So it does swing out at you, Garth. So you get... You get 36 points
Oh,
of fire damage as it just punches you, and you drop backwards and slide across the floor. And instead of falling back on your butt, you slide back and kind of clonk into the back of the room. You are 60 feet from the other side of the room, about 40-ish feet from where you were.
Whoa, we're halfway dead.
Yeah.
Whoa, he hit me on the head.
It's funny because I was singing that about COVID earlier today.
Wow. He does have a multi-attack, so he does swing down at the doggo next to him, Astro, and does hit him. And Astro takes 20 points of fire damage as well, and lets out a yelp, and he goes sliding across the room to the right.
I got too excited.
You got too excited.
Sarah
What did I
healed.
miss?
They're healed.
Oh.
I wanted to celebrate for healing.
Haha. So Astro goes sliding off to the side and lets out a yelp, and he sits down on his butt and starts to whimper as a little bit of smoke kind of curls up off of his shoulder. He looks pretty well beaten. We get to Valari's turn.
Last. I'm gonna do some chromatic orb action.
So basically he came up and over, and he is now to your right.
Okay.
So you can turn and fire off a chromatic orb.
Yeah.
What type of chromatic orb, and how are you firing it?
He said he was flaming,
He's
so
flaming,
I'm gonna do cold.
Okay.
And I'm just deciding if I want to roll or if I want to use one of these nat 20s that I've got, or if I need to save those later. I'm gonna start with a roll. So,
you can do it.
yeah, I keep hitting the wrong button. Sorry, guys. Wait, why is it doing this?
Here's the die.
No, it's fine. I'm
Okay.
just yeah, that's not good. It's a 12.
12. You fire your chromatic orb at whatever level you chose,
Yeah.
up and over the shoulder of this thing, and it blasts kind of a little bit of smoke
Just
over its shoulder.
just ice
Yep.
shards and
We're back to the top of the turn order. Thadric, this beast has jumped over you. You are on its backside currently. You watched it punch Garth across the room, and Valari fired a shot at it.
Does it take damage from the heat metal?
I'm calculating that in right now. Okay, so that's calculated, and continue.
Okay. So that I can't change my concentration. But what I can do is I just saw my little buddy get bonked across the room.
Basically,
Mhm.
you feel like
bonus action.
Yeah, you feel like you have the motion to be able to move anywhere in the room that you wish.
Oh, I don't need to get there. I can do it from here. Bonus action. I'm gonna give him a little healing word. For you, Nathan, are going to recover 7 hit points.
Ooh.
Thad will draw his. Let's see, it's metal. I'm gonna draw my mace,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna step up
Is it
and try to.
I can't recall. Is it a standard mace or does it have special properties?
This is just a regular old
Perfect.
mace.
All right.
I'm gonna step up and try and pop it. We're gonna see.
Pop, lock, and drop it.
Probably not 16.
You swing and clang kind of off of the armor as it still has some substance to it. So it does
Butts.
not hit.
Uh-oh.
Butts. All right,
I hate to
and that's
play
all. That's all my actions.
All right.
It's a computer game.
Ari, your turn.
Yeah. Ugh. He's gotta go. I had thrown my axe, but I still had my sword in my hand. So at this point, I'm going to take my dash action and come in with my flaming sword and a battle cry.
All right.
I would like to try to like slice right through him.
Okay. Is this your two-handed or is this the short sword?
This is my long
Perfect.
sword.
Okay.
Come on, dice. 18.
18. As you rush up and you swing, you feel the blade just kind of scrape across the front of this beast.
Gosh, he's a toughie. Okay.
Astro decides to sit down and lick his paw as it's a little bit burnt, a tiny bit. Not like burnt up, but like just he's got a little bit of a scarring that you see from the flames. So he licks his paw and lets out a whimper. It is Garth's turn.
Do it, Garth.
I'm gonna go after this very being. It needs to, as I'm sitting on the floor
Mhm.
in pain, I'm just gonna be like, let's just try from here. And you see Garth kind of like put his hand up to the side of his head and just stare intently.
Okay.
And he's going to cast a mind spike. And the suit of armor will have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
We'll see how wise this thing is.
Total of 13.
Not wise enough.
Not wise enough.
So I'm gonna roll my 3d8s.
Nice.
Well, it will be 12 points of psychic damage.
12 points of psychic damage. All right. You feel like you reach into the mind of this creature and you do as much damage as you can. And it kind of lets out a little bit of a shake. Not so much a a reaction you'd expect fully if you would have spiked through a normal creature's mind, but it seems to understand your presence and pain that you've caused it. Anything else you can do on your turn, or is that it?
You know what? I'm gonna hang out here. I'm pretty far away from the dude, right?
You are. Yeah, you're about 40 feet away.
Oh.
Yes.
I will if my little doggo's
Yes.
still up. I'm gonna be like, burn him again, papas!
He jumps down and to the side, and for the Hellhound's turn, he gets right up next to Valari, as he knows he won't be able to hit the rest of the party, and lets out a flaming bark. Again, the jaw opens up incredibly wide, kind of disgustingly wide, and flame just engulfs this beast.
Flaming Bork.
Flaming Bork, new emoji. But as he engulfs this beast with flame, he closes his mouth shut again, and it's the brightest red suit of armor / metal creature anymore that you can see. Currently, it's the flaming suit of armor's turn, and it looks off to its shoulder and sees Valari and decides to make a charge. And as it does, it will actually use its nat 20 to hit Valari. Valari, it charges and tackles you, but I believe we have, before it makes its full charge, we have Thadric right up against it and Ari right up against it, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so both of you may take a opportunity attack as it starts to move away from the two of you.
So here's the thing, I get to take 2 because of my Hydra
You get
armor.
2 with your Hydra armor. Both of you get 2 with your Hydra armor.
Yeah.
So
The first one is an 18 again, which I know is not going to hit. So let's see what the second one.
First one.
Second one's going to hit.
I got a 17 on the first one, which I believe misses.
correct.
The second one, there's a 16 on the die plus 7. So
All right.
Me
Probably.
too. Plus 9, so 26.
26. All right, both of you do hit. So please roll your damage and tell me the type and action, how it takes place. We will go from the top of the turn order, so that would be Thadric applies his damage in action, and then Ari following.
I try to swing down with the mace to try to take out its like armor knee,
Okay.
like I'll weaken it, and I thud into it and it takes a total of 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
5 points of bludgeoning
In the
damage to
knee.
the knee. It once was an adventurer like you, but it is currently a suit of armor, as it takes a mace to the knee. As it does, your mace kind of slides through it, and a bit of molten metal drops to the floor. It doesn't seem to affect its gait, but it does rip off a bit of its being. Ari, what do you do?
Yeah, I think the first strike would have been like strike him for its like stomach.
Okay.
And
Odds are calling.
then oh no, we're still here. We're still here. Strike him for its tummy, like belly area, and then if it misses and it goes through, coming around again to the back
Okay.
with a like slash right through spine.
All right. And what is your damage and damage type
11
of slashing?
and that will be slashing.
All right, 11 points of slashing damage. You're able to like hit into the armor, and as your sword kind of scrapes up the back, you rip off a bit of the molten metal on its backside, and it drops to the floor. As these pieces of metal hit the floor, they don't instantly turn back to standard metal, but you see the molten redness start to fade a bit. Now, as it goes for the tackle on Valari, it does hit, and Valari, you take, let me see, my roll says you take 26 points of fire damage, but I do believe
I
you
have
some resistances.
resistance.
So
Would that be 13?
it would be 13. If you have any additional resistances, it would be half of that. But that is what you get. So you get 13. And as it runs at you, it actually smashes up with one arm, and it continues its motion forward and blasts you like into the wall behind. So there were 3 walls outside of the door. This is the one that didn't have anything broken on it. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as well as you get slammed into the wall, and it continues into the wall and smashes up over you. Please roll a dexterity check to see if you can avoid it grappling and tackling you. Yes, there is a dog waiting for.
They want snacks so
Astro-
bad.
Astro's like, Valari.
No!
Okay, that's good. I got a 19.
A 19? A 19 on your dexterity check. As it tries to like grab onto you and smash through the wall, what happens is it smashes through the wall and an open cavern lays behind it. And this suit of armor clambers at you and falls into the cavern. And for a brief second, everything is silent. And then you hear a clutter and a thud as it hits the floor below. You don't take any additional damage, but you're kind of scooted up towards the edge and are able to keep yourself from falling in. We have now exited battle as the suit of armor has blasted through this third wall, and the little bit of light that is emanating from the shield and the sword shows that it seems to be a cavern through. It's only about 20 feet wide, or 20 feet in, let's say, diameter there, that goes deep down in. And Valari, you're able to kind of see across, and you see this splattered metal on the floor as it was molten and hit and just kind of shattered. And it slowly starts to fade, but you see that it looks like it could be about 50, 60 feet down. There's a small staircase that runs along the outside of this wall that you see. And as we exit battle, the hellhound that has been helping Garth lets out a little bit of a smoky yarp and then kind of dances in place and then goes up into a smoke and dissipates. The hellhound has given you a bit of love and happiness. As we exit battle here, we're just about to go on break. Is there anything you wish to do before we dive into this cavern?
I wish to recover the hand axe I threw.
Yeah, you may recover it. It's laying actually on the tabletop where the head of the skeleton was, and that's kind of knocked off of the tabletop from the battle onto the floor, and it's cracked. The jaw is kind of fallen next to it.
I'll carefully kind of pick it up and see if I can put it back on, and then it probably falls.
Yeah,
again, and I'll
the
pick
jaw
it up.
falls slack into a different direction than what it should. It is missing a few more teeth than you recalled it to have had, but it's mostly in place. Any other effects, healing, casting, etc.?
I'll let the heat metal drop, so that's not still hot and spicy.
Yep.
But have we done a thorough search, like with a roll in the room?
No, we have not.
I would do that before hitting Garth with another heal like that.
All right, so you're gonna search the room.
Yeah.
What is your roll?
Yeah, I'll help him.
27.
27. And Ari, are you searching as well, or adding a help to give any additions?
I'll help.
All right, you'll help. So with the large roll that you have there, as you search the room, you do notice that on the two crumbled walls that had been there, crumbled for some time, there were swords inlaid into the floor around the crumbling of the first wall, and bowls laid into the floor up behind the desk on the crumbling of the second wall. But you do notice where Valari had nearly been tackled off into the pit, that there are hammers inlaid into the floor there. So it seems that the two other items that were created had been smashed through and gotten, but this hammer you're searching for, the opening, is here.
I'm gonna, while I'm sitting there, like, catching my breath, I'm actually gonna use my healing potion.
Your healing potion?
Yeah.
All right.
How much should I get for that?
Your healing potion, I think, was a greater healing potion. I believe. Let me double check that.
44 plus 4.
4d4 plus 4. There it is. Thank you, Nathan.
44 plus 4, 48.
I know, I
Look at
thought
all
I
you.
heard that wrong. I had to.
Yeah, Garth will reach into his bag and he's got a potion of greater healing as well. So where he's like,
15 points back.
That's a.
So you're taking yours as well?
yeah, he's like, that was a doozy.
That was maybe more damage than you've ever taken.
That was like wow. Fifteen points back.
15 points back. All right. Anyone else before we go on break? Anything else we wish to do?
You all doing okay? I've got some healing if you need it.
Astro does
No, I
come
think
limping
I'm-
over,
Aw.
and he looks like he's in a little bit of disarray. But he sits up next to Valari, and just kind of leans into her for the moment.
I kind of scratch his head. Like, I feel bad that I drank it, but like I needed it. It was
Yeah,
pretty
Being out
bad.
of battle.
Yeah, I gotta think on this door or on this hammer thing more.
All right. With that, we will go to break then. And as we go to break, that is approximately 10 minutes, plus or minus a few seconds, that you will be hearing our intro theme song beckoning you back. So, see you soon, and we will figure out what happens behind this hole in the wall. I'm sorry, Scott, but Bot's a jerk.
Buttbot is
You-
out for Scott tonight.
Are you guys talking about Butt Denuzo?
But Denuzo. But Denuzo, thank you for all of your interaction here. We love that you're here, But Denuzo. Your brother Scott's pretty cool too. But otherwise, we are back. We just toppled a flaming metal suit of armor golem thing down a big hole. Party. You're now in a room that we've investigated and have seen that there's symbols in the floor, and these symbols seem to lead to magical items. This last one being uncovered is a hammer. I believe that's what you're going for, unless you're just here for fun.
I'm just here for the out of body experiences.
Yeah,
Well-
which Thadric had. If you haven't seen that, please go rewatch the first half of this episode. It's great.
I'm just here to get punched half to death.
Well,
And eat vegetables.
Speaking of half to death, Astro is kind of close, so I would say that if we value him, we need to give him some rest or
Take a breather for a bit.
something, because
I'm cool with taking a breather.
Yeah, let's just take an hour and chillax.
he could use a little love and some rest.
Astro will roll his hit dice.
Ari's also just gonna take one while we're here, because who knows what's up
Um,
ahead.
I rolled his hit dice.
For an hour, do I get anything, or does a short rest have to be 4 hours?
Hours.
Short rest is 1 hour.
Okay.
Short rest is an hour
Why
plus.
did I think it was 4?
4 is, I think, the cap of the short rest.
Oh, that makes sense. But a long rest doesn't start till 8.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I get 1.
You get 1 HP back.
I mean, you
Wait,
can take as
wait.
many
What is your
hit
hit
dice
dice?
as you
What
want.
are your hit dice?
I don't actually know.
You look at your hit dice. I think it says 6.
It's gonna be a D8 for a sorcerer, I believe.
Where do I find this?
I don't know in the app.
Literally just on the. So you're using the D&D Beyond.
She's using
Yeah,
the app,
what's-
the iOS app.
Yeah. So at the thing, just if you click the short rest, it should pop up.
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Oh, I forget. There's that
Oh,
button
my.
because it's a campfire, and that's not intuitive to me.
Yeah. So there you go. Short rest.
And for anyone, it's just it's 1d6.
1d6 for
3.
you. Yes. Perfect.
Reset minimum HP.
And you
Do I
can
do
take
that?
as many as whatever level you are.
Do I do that?
No.
Do I do this?
Garth is doing that too and getting back
You can.
another.
Oh, this is how many you do. So it'll roll for you. You can say how many hit dice you want to use.
Oh, because
Oh,
okay,
and it closed.
yeah, because you were tapping stuff.
All right, that'll work.
So you choose how many hit dice you want to use in there.
And I get spell
We are
slots.
using D&D Beyond for our player characters.
Not an ad.
Hashtag not an ad, because we also use Encounter Plus. The beauty of the two, while the players are all getting themselves reset, is D&D Beyond has a lot of great stuff that you can use to run your games. So does Encounter Plus. There are some scripts or some plugins that you can use through, I believe, iOS's normal shortcuts, and you can import character sheets and other data from D&D Beyond into your Encounter Plus app, which I do from time to time to keep my players up to date and get all of their juicy details about backstory and things that could hurt them the most dearly.
I have to roll it on my own.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to see.
I know because it didn't add, so I'm always
Yeah,
learning with this app. I think they just
Okay.
did an update or something recently.
Bloom.
Uh,
I got some spell slots back too, baby.
As they're getting their spell slots back, I'm going to use this moment here while players are updating their sheets. Do keep an eye on other stuff going on around our circle here. Jared and Nathan play in some other games. They've been in Dat Bad Show, correct?
Yeah. Bedlam and Discord odd jobs.
Bedlam and
I'm
Discord. Give them a look. There's some fun stuff. I believe Nathan has been the DM for a few rounds. Jared is the DM normally, and there's a lot of cool stuff that goes on there. We have borrowed Jared from also the Dat Network, where they have some really great games that go on there. Both Nathan and Lauren, I believe, has been on the Dat
Mhm.
Network. And Jared has been on the Dat Network from time to time with various characters. So take a look at them. Lindsay?
While we're talking about other
Yep.
stuff, I do want to plug one of our sponsors, Encounter Plus, which they just had a big update in their app. I think they're on 4.11.
Something new. Yes, they're in their
Um,
4 something series right now. There's a lot of cool stuff.
it was a big update, right? So definitely check them out. I know we've all enjoyed using them. So
I've been using them over on Bedlam and Discord.
Yeah.
when he shares the map, I use it.
When I use it, I've used it on a bunch of stuff through this entire show. Hopefully soon. I know they're doing a lot of work with a lot of great stuff they're doing. We'll be able to share the map with you guys, and I'll have some detailed maps so everyone can see what's going on. I know we're a lot more theater of the mind, but it is kind of nice to know roughly where we are.
I think Critical Treasures has done some of the revamp on their shop too.
Oh yeah, Critical Treasures has got a lot. Scott Tenuzo is back trying to figure out where he missed Lauren.
Hashtag not an ad.
Yeah.
It was that one-off that I did.
Yeah.
Level
And
15.
I was set to join some of the heroic endeavors, and then foster mom happened, and we had to tag team it.
Nice.
AKA Nathan played.
All right. Did we vamp enough for you players to get all of your sheets ready to go?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Welcome back to Here Be Dragons. Our players have just gone through a short rest. You got to see some of that short rest as they are diving deeper and deeper into these caverns. They're in the room that they just fought a metal golem-esque creature, and it blasted through a wall trying to attack Valari and left open a cavern that goes deeper into this once used forge. The door behind them that slid into the floor over the course of battle had slowly come back up, and it is almost imperceptible to the naked eye that there was a door there once. It just looks like a big concrete wall.
Oh, good. So we're trapped in here now.
You're trapped in here now, forced to go forward or attempt to go back through with another out-of-body experience, if you wish, Thadric.
We don't have any of that liquid.
You do have swords and knives and various things that may have been used from others, as you saw the skeletons in the previous room.
We're here for the hammer, right?
Yeah, right?
Then I think our only option's down. But hey, at least the armor man found the stairs.
Before we go down, Jared,
Yes, Jared?
I would like to go over this table that I've been hiding behind, and check out this dude on the table. This dead, probably a crafter, probably the famed blacksmith.
Yep.
And I would like to cast Speak with Dead on him.
All right, as you speak with Dead, does it have, or do you have any flavor you wish to add to this in the way that it does allow the conversation?
I mean, it's just he holds out the talisman that's at his neck, and again, it's like warm coals, and it glows, and it fills up where the blood on a body would be.
Okay.
And then I can ask it questions.
Well,
Yeah.
as you do that, a weird set of bright white liquid appears in some veins, and some dark liquid, almost the jet black, appears to make some of the muscles around the face. The jaw snaps into place, and it sits up just a little bit and looks at you. Yes.
What's up, crafter dude? Oh crap, that was one of my questions.
I'm alive, and I wish you to pass on a message. There's been an attack. He goes silent as he answered your first question.
Okay. We're gonna go down this tunnel here to find your magic hammer. What's down there?
Each of the tunnels has a pedestal that holds one of the sacred elements of magic in the realms. And he kind of turns a bit about. It seems the sword and the containment have been sought after. If you just made the hole in the wall there, then hopefully the hammer still exists on the pedestal.
How did you die?
How many questions do you get?
I got 5.
Oh, okay, phew. I thought that was 3.
I had worked here in the forges for many years. I created many of the weapons here, and then there was an onslaught of thieves and bandits. I eventually held up myself and two other. And those two had protected the door as I had fought the bandits with my last breath. They had sought out to lay me to rest, is all I remember.
That'll turn to the rest of the group.
I think maybe like there was a message, so inquiring as to that. And
Crafter dude, what is your message?
Message is puppies. Just kidding. The message is that there are completed devices. One to contain the evil, one to fight the evil, one to bring back the forges in case more items are needed.
I'm gonna take a guess that the bowl that remember the gargoyle stuff was in? We went in, there's a bowl. We used the thing, destroyed the gargoyle, that thing. I got a feeling that was one of the bowl, like that was the bowl. Which means the sword is out there somewhere.
I want to find it.
What can you tell me about this sword crafter dude?
The sword was a powerful sword. It was one that, when brought together with the certain metals and a bit of life, it could sustain magic and potentially be a sword with a voice.
Oh, wait. Do I already have it?
You got that one too!
I hold it up.
I think that's 5.
I that was a question to myself.
Yeah.
As you hold it up and the corpse slowly starts to lose its animation, you see a slight grin as it sees the sword in your hand, and then the jaw falls slack off to the side and a few teeth fall out of it.
Hey, so 2 out of 3!
Not bad.
That worked out well!
I'm gonna put the fiery sword away and I guess keep out this one since he said it was magical.
As you keep that sword out, you hear in the back of your head,
Hey, oh, what did I miss? What did I miss? Oh, where are we?
You should go back and listen to the podcast. I can't catch you up right now.
What? What is a podcast? Can you tell me what it is and where it's located?
On
the
all
cloud.
major platforms.
now, you hear the voice in the back of your head continue to like ramble.
Oh, there's so many magical items. I wish
So as you hold the sword, as you hold it at the ready, you hear TikTok's voice in the back of your head. As you replace it into a sheath or into your pack, the voice kind of mumbles a bit. Anything else anyone would like to do?
Do we like this dude? Because I can like bring him with us.
Do you really want to use your magic for that?
Remember how your magic kind of keeps us alive?
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy had his chance, he did some good. Maybe you just make it so that we all get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is it a skeleton talking?
It's the skeleton that was
Yeah.
talking.
And
That's been
Jared
happening.
Thadric animated him?
Correct.
Oh. How long is
Well,
he? How long is
I
he gonna stay?
So I did speak with Dead to him.
Yes, he animated
So
him
that's
enough to
5
talk to
questions.
him, Yep.
So
I
we.
can animate him, and then I have a minion for 2 days.
So were we hearing what was being said then? Because if he was speaking with Dad, we were hearing it too then.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it's audible. I think it's the
Yeah.
whole thing.
The
Okay,
dead-
I'm just trying to figure out. Well, how long does that kind of last?
That's it.
It's already done.
Once and
He had
done.
5
Uh,
questions.
I have
You
to
used all
say,
5 questions.
I do have to say, as I'm looking through the spell here, Thank you for putting the jaw back on this thing because it wouldn't have been able to speak if it didn't have a complete mouth.
I think Thadric knows what he's doing in that respect. And he asks all 5 questions.
Oh, 10 days. That's what I was looking for.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
We know the things. We know the bowl seems to have been used. I think we encountered that already. We somehow got the sword. That worked out to our advantage. I think what we really need now is just go down and get that hammer. I think it's hammer time.
It's on a pedestal.
Ba-na-na-na.
I was giving you that one.
Okay.
Are you guys ready to go?
So we go down the hole?
Down the stairs.
Yeah, it's stairs, right?
Yeah, there's some stairs lining the outside of this hole, and it goes about 50 feet down.
Well, I
so
mean,
it's not
sure, if
super
you
far.
want to take all the fun out of it, I guess we can
Oh,
go down
okay.
the
What
stairs.
is your fun? Go for it.
No, we'll go down the
Just
stairs.
jump. Whee!
Like cliff
I'm gonna-
diving. It's like, wee.
Ari's gonna grab her shield and the TikTok sword. All right, guys, let's do this.
For battle. Let's do this.
We're going downstairs.
Ah.
Oh, remember that one time with the stairs?
Yeah, where you killed the kid?
I didn't kill a kid. You all killed a
You-
kid. I was on.
You
Oh!
bullied him into going up the stairs.
I didn't bully anybody. Y'all were the bullies.
Wind, eat your
What?
vegetables.
What about the stairs where people fell down them? The orcs.
Oh, that was a good one too.
We have more point redemptions. Thank you for that. Nathan enjoys the vegetables you have given him as a gift.
I would like to pull out like a copper piece.
All right.
Just something unimportant.
Yep.
Cast continual flame on it,
Okay.
and then drop it down the hole. Just
What is the area that it affects with continual flame?
it gives off light like a torch.
Oh, so I believe 10 feet radius.
I think it's 20 regular and then 20 more dim.
20 dim. Okay, so at about
If-
40 foot. Yep. All right.
Yeah, roughly,
Yeah.
if I recall.
Is it bright like a diamond or no?
All right. So you go down the stairs.
We go down the stairs.
Go down the stairs. I need one dex check from each of you, please.
Oh boy.
Where?
I used the hand railing. Can I roll at advantage?
Ah,
Did you just?
that's a critical fail.
Can we? I think we can assume you were at the front, though.
I did say I went first.
19. I'm good.
I'm on a 13.
Wait. Hold on.
Did you already use it?
I don't know if I got it back. Sorry.
Indomitable.
Features. Ah, no, wait. Where'd it go?
I think that's technically a saving throw. This is just a check.
Darn. Okay. Yep.
13.
A few of you slip and stumble on the stairs. As you do, any weaponry or items in hand drop to the floor below as you catch yourself. Those are the 13s. The 19 saves and is fine. So, Valari, you're all right.
Yep.
Ari, on the other hand, you get about halfway down and slip a bit, and you drop everything in your hands and catch the side of the steps. It's only about a 15, 16 foot fall here, but it could do a nasty job on an ankle. So you're hanging there for the next steps. Because of your strength as a fighter, you're able to hang there for a moment, and the rest of the party sees you up ahead drop your stuff to the floor. The flaming sword at your side glowing a bit, the TikTok sword on the floor with the shield. What is it that the party does?
I cast Mage Hand on top of her hand to give an extra 10 pounds of
Just
pressure holding her
Holding
in
the
place.
hand down, all right?
Can I just pick her up?
Yeah, let's do a strength check
And, like,
to
just
see
lift
here.
her up.
Super simple strength check.
14.
14.
Nope, 15.
15.
1 5.
15. You're able to wrap your hand on her forearm and pull up on the hand that isn't being held down by the mage hand. I'm assuming Garth at this point kind of adds 10 pounds of force lifting. And
Pulling up.
Ari, you're able to get back on the stairs and continue your descent and pick up your weaponry as you all make it to the bottom of this little doom steps, apparently.
Can I just interject that anything that would have been like I feel like a 3 should have been the minimum to have to pass a strength check to pick up a female character, because it's offensive if you're implying that we're heavy.
She's wearing armor. It's armor. Man,
And she's below my center of mass.
It's still rude. Just saying. She'd still be mad if you were like, ugh.
Guess I dropped you.
Hey, I'm not afraid to tell you all that Garth weighs a whopping 40 pounds.
Man, why
He
have
weighs about as much as my tail, I think.
probably? Why haven't you guys done more like throw the halfling through stuff?
Because it's not nice.
And
Oh,
because
yeah.
I thought it was
I-
not allowed.
It's one of the rules in our chat: no throwing of halflings. Sorry,
You have
Yes.
to ask the halfling first.
you have to
Yeah.
gain consent.
And that's just too tedious. So
All right, you make it to the bottom of the stairs. The glowing coin shines bright. There's one large hallway that goes about 50, 60 feet deep. You see a few little passageways that shoot off of it. As it goes 50, 60 feet deep, there's a wall at the end. It looks like it might have a passage left or right. The amount of light that this coin shows allows the party to see that there is a little bit of dust buildup and cobwebs hang, but there is a path through that seems to come into this ravine and make a loop and go back down the center of the hallway. So the dust has been like swept up, and it seems to be a path that has been built along the hallway. It goes straight down the hall, and then you see pathway left and right a bit. You don't see it go into any of the side chutes of the room.
Somebody's been down here.
Or something. Oh, or something's always down here.
Or a third option.
Cause like that guy didn't say that there were any dudes down here.
He said there were 2 people that sealed the doors.
Yeah, weren't they? Those could have been some of the bodies on the outside, though.
Could have been.
They were guarding the door.
Well, let's just be careful.
Yeah.
I'll draw my what will I draw? I'll draw my short sword and the
Magic-
shield.
Do you want to check for some traps, maybe? On
Fine.
the floor?
All right. That's a thing I can do.
Roll for it, sir.
Do a barrel roll.
Barrel roll. 28.
28. As you look around, there doesn't seem to be any traps. This seems to be a very pristine kind of hallway that had a lot of foot traffic in it. You see some wearing in the center. You see a little bit of wearing into a few of the rooms. A few of the rooms that you see kind of shoot off to the sides don't have much foot traffic. But to your keen eye, there doesn't seem to be anything at this point in the abyss that you're in that needed to be protected.
Okay.
Was my
It
description
looks
bad?
pretty good to me. How wide is the hallway?
The hallway's about 10 foot across.
So Ari and I could be like next to each other.
Mhm.
Okay, that way
Correct.
at least they'll have to go through a
Yeah.
nearly impenetrable wall of
Yeah.
things to get to the
Muscle.
squishy guys. Shall we?
Let's go.
I try to match my every step with Ari's step, like awkward, like left foot when she goes her left foot,
Are you
trying to
do you
appear.
have shields out or?
I have
Yeah.
a shield up.
All right,
Yeah.
shields out. As you start to walk,
I see him trying to match my step, and I will fall in sync.
as you fall in sync and you're kind of bobbing your head on your steps and moving forward, peering over your shields barely, you do notice from side to side that the rooms don't have a door on them, just a doorway. Some of the
I'm gonna peek.
What's that?
I want to peek when we go
As you
past
peek,
doorways.
as you peek into the rooms, you do notice that one of them looks like a small little workspace, something that has a couple little tables in it, a few pieces of tooling, but nothing that was like a heavy workspace. Just something maybe for light repairs or fixing up of stuff. On a few other sides, you see a small library, a couple books, a small table, a lot of writing. All of this covered in dust. On one of the areas that seems to have had foot traffic, or at least traffic in the dust, you do notice that there is a small table central in there that has a crystal ball sitting on the center of the table. There's nothing else in the room, however, just a small table with a crystal ball as you continue forward. And as you're continuing forward through the hall, green lights appear very faintly where torches might have hung previously. Garth/Nathan.
As I mean, as they kind of walk past, Garth would see a crystal ball, and being a wizard of divination magic would be very intrigued.
Yeah, how close do you expect to be following at this point? Do you want to be right up on them or back a little ways?
I guess I would be. I mean, there would probably be a square's worth of distance
Okay,
between us,
so
like 5 feet.
4 to 5 feet. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So they're looking through the rooms, and you're a little bit behind, but you do notice these lights glowing on the walls as you walk down it. They're green, small, glowing flames almost that look like they had been almost a remnant of where a torch could have sat in a brazier on the wall. But there's no torch, and the braziers that you do see are very old and either warped or fallen off the walls.
That's odd. Anyone else think that's odd?
The green?
The fact that any light, just magic. I mean, that's some deep magic right there.
I mean,
Just figured it was motion detector.
this coin glows forever. And I just made this.
Yes, but did you notice that they just turned on, right?
They just
Motion
turned on
sensor.
kind of motion sensor, but they are like the next 5 to 10 feet ahead of you, not immediately next to you. So they're almost
Is that-
preparing your space.
Is that not a magic
It's
thing you
just
do?
typical magic, right?
Is it not? Should we be concerned? Garth, you
Just
seem
saying.
concerned.
Why would you pick green light? It's not. I mean,
Why
'Cause they
not
want us to
pick
look.
green light? We're in a freaking dungeon, man.
look. Number one, y'all don't know what green lights mean here.
It
There's no
means
light
go.
system.
Right?
That's not. We don't have traffic lights. It's horse-drawn carts, guys.
All I'm
Yeah.
saying is
Oh,
green means
green
go.
light.
I don't know what you're talking about traffic lights. I'm just saying green means go.
In
That's
my
what
world,
my grandpa taught me.
what are you talking about? I grew up. Everyone says blue means go. Blue, get to it. That's what it meant. See, I can create things about a magical made-up world too.
I want to yeet the flaming coin through the hallway.
All right, give me just a straight check on that.
He drops it.
What was it?
5.
5. You catch your hand on the front of your shield, and it kind of like bounces down and clings about 10 feet ahead and goes bing, 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 bounces off a wall and lands almost center to the hallway. And as it goes forward and it sheds this light, you do notice a cloaked figure, arms in the cloak and head down, slowly just like sliding through the hall in front of you at the end of the hall, crossing past.
Okay.
it crosses past this time, but slows just a little bit and stops, and then continues forward across the hall. And I need perception checks from everybody.
Like my 15 passive perception?
Natural 20.
Roll it before you take your pass.
Like my 15
I'll take a
passive
12.
perception?
A 15, a 12, a
See, I wish I
22.
could take my passive.
22.
With a natural 20 getting me a 22.
Perfect. Cedric,
I rolled a 1, so it's a 10.
what is your passive?
19.
I will allow a passive. It's a perception.
Yeah.
Also, how did you get a 19?
Because I'm
Observant?
wise AF, my
Perfect.
dude.
Let's do this.
He's a rogue cleric. Why wouldn't his perception be a
For
19?
those of you,
I just don't know what to do with what I see.
so for those of you over 17, you do see a tentacle flip just a little bit underneath the
Oh, I
hood.
was like, we're all over 17. We age back to our normal age. Sorry.
No, those of you who have rolled over a 17 and
Okay.
or contain a passive 17 or higher, do you see a slight tentacle flip out from under the hood. The rest of you don't notice it.
Would I be able to connect that to another tentacle I may have seen on the face of another being?
Did you roll high enough?
I rolled a 22.
Then you did. You connected it to faces of other beings that you may or may not have seen, and a cold chill runs down your spine, Garth.
Like, I wait until the being has finished walking past.
So at this point, Garth, the way it's played
Yeah.
out, you've gotten up to the point where you see the crystal ball with a very faint glow in the middle of it, and you look
Mhm.
as Thadric chucks the coin, and it bounces, and this creature moves past, and you see a little flick of a tentacle underneath the hood. So out of the corner of your eye, you see the glowing ball and the tentacle under the hood, and that's where you are at and how you're contemplating the situation.
Okay.
So if that
So I just-
that's how you would react from, that's kind of where you're at.
Okay. So from that point, I would just be like, nobody move. That's a mind flare.
Ari starts to mildly hyperventilate.
The
But,
shield
is it
shudders a bit.
blind? Is it blind or something?
Shh. It's possible that because you did not enter the lit space, perhaps those lit because it is on its patrol. It is carving out a regular route here.
Okay. I'll stealth, I guess.
I put a hand out to like stop him from moving.
I can stealth without needing y'all.
Please roll on your stealth, and then also let's do a dexterity check for Ari.
I'm gonna use my 20 from Sarah to make my stealth a 30.
All right, your stealth is a 30. You
not
essentially are
seeing-
invisible, except your party sees you at the moment.
Babe, I don't think you catch him.
He's
No,
not
my-
taking
No.
any chances.
You put your hand out, and as you like expect to hit a chest plate, you just like hit empty air and nearly smack Garth in the face.
It's because of her panic attack.
And as you do that, you look up and around, and the shield that was right next to you is kind of tucked to the side, and you see a little bit of a tuck of Thadric walking forward.
Well, I'd say I was going forward.
Okay, so you see Thadric kind of like duck under your hand. We've
I
killed
said I'm
Valari. Valari choked on her own spit.
Breathe through your nose.
Breathe through your nose.
Still can.
All right, Thadric, what is it that you do as Valari is recovering from her like gasp? What did you see the tentacles? No, you didn't. You just gasped at Garth. Garth was like, "Oh."
What? I like that you've made no move to physically check on her.
I see her. She's right here. She's right here. She's within reach. See, right here.
Welcome to my life. Oh my gosh.
Lindsay likes to inhale
This is
anything.
just me choking on a normal day, and my husband going, she's fine. As my face is turning red and my body temperature is rising.
Hey, as long as we hear you coughing, that means that
She's a-
At
oxygen
least
is-
you're breathing. I know. I've heard it. I've said it. Like, I get it.
coughing into her hand. I'm okay. I'm still breathing.
It's nice to know that people care, though. Sorry, I don't know. That was
Roll to
coincidence.
care.
I rolled another nat 20. What the
You rolled
heck?
a nat
I
20 for
care.
caring.
I care a lot, but that feels like wow.
It was just coincidental timing, and I'm so.
All right, so sorry that happened. We're back. We're alive. Volari's still here for those of you listening and can't see her face on screen. She's alive.
It's less red.
It's less red. So Ari's hand goes out and like whiffs over Thadric's head, who ducks and is in crouch stealth mode. And you hear
I basically am now just on the balls of my feet with the sword ready to strike if I need to.
all right, so you're in stealth mode, apparently nearly invisible because of that roll, and ready to attack. The creature passes past, and as Garth has that chill down his spine and warns everybody, what is it you all do?
I sheathe the TikTok sword and quietly unhook my hand axe.
All right.
I would move to look in the crystal ball.
At this point, you would look in the crystal ball as the creature moves past.
Is it
all right.
dim or dark in here?
It's dark. Garth, as you step in and look at the crystal ball, you see a few faint images flickering in this thing, and they seem to be moments in time. They're different every time you see them. One, you see like a happy moment, almost from the perspective of somebody looking at a child picking up a rock and throwing it into a lake. And then you see another moment that's a bit more sad as someone is scooping some dirt into what appears to be a grave. Another moment you see a very emotionless moment where you see a hammer come down on a piece of molten metal, and you see image after image after image of bits and pieces of life. Only about 4 or 5 seconds at most of someone's life. You probably, for even the couple seconds you stand there, get inundated with about 30 different bits and pieces of life, but nothing that seems extraordinary. More things like you would say, oh man, I would imagine Ari or Valari or Thadric or any of your other friends like Rumiel or the innkeepers you have met to have had in their life. Nothing extraordinary, just moments.
Well, I'm not gonna touch it, but there's nothing else in this room.
No, it's actually fairly empty. It has a shelf that looked like it held books. The dust marks that you do look around and see looks like there were a few circular objects sitting recently on the shelves. They were an ornate bookshelf. There's a couple bookends that sit there, but the circular objects are the most recent dust pattern.
And does it look like that same like dust pattern comes into this room as well?
Indeed, it does. This is one of the rooms that was actually off of this path, and the dust pattern goes in and around and is very swept away around the table that holds the crystal ball, as if it might have made a few laps and then back out of the room.
My last thing before I hand it over to another character to see what they're doing is as I move out, I want to look at the pathway to that other room that didn't seem like it was as well used with those little tools and stuff.
Yep.
Is there that same pattern
No,
of dust
there is
cleared
not.
there?
There is not a pattern of dust there. The room with the tools in it actually seems to be quite empty. Are you okay? Is there a dog staring up at you?
No, she's acting like she's starving, and Jared can hear her,
Yes.
and he's dying, and it's making me laugh.
So that small room off to the side is actually quite empty and very easy to look into.
Said the ghost.
This is the room that's opposite the crystal ballroom.
Yes, it is. Sorry, we had to fix your rainbow puke that came back this week.
Ah, yes.
Somebody
I'll
redeemed
poke
a
my head
puppy
in there.
snack time, and it's being generous.
I've been saving it up for Nathan, but I'll give it to the puppies since they haven't had it.
Oh,
Yay.
puppy snack time.
Their drama
Look at this
outweighs
happy
Nathan's
puppy.
drama. Come here.
So,
Come here.
using your Twitch channel points, you can give Nathan snacks or the puppy snacks.
Oh, okay. She
puppy's
took it
cuter.
before I could.
Treat Nathan or treat puppies. Punish
Make
Nathan.
someone happy or make someone unhappy.
Treat puppies,
It's
punish
your
Nathan.
choice.
Perfect. So the puppies are happy. Nathan is happy as well. But that room across the hall is very easy to look into. It's a very small table, has a couple little items on the table. They look to be like more fine tooling, not like heavy pounding, hammering, carving, but like small little bits to etch into wood or to work on the metal work as it's cooling down. So it's a very craftsman piece of table work.
Okay. Are they like tools for etchings onto like smith things or like leatherwork? Like
you do see a few pieces in there. This seems to be sort of a finishing room. As Nathan is working on his vegetables here. So what we see in the room is there's a couple small hammers, a couple very sharp-ended picks that would be more for woodworking. There's a few pieces of essentially pick-like items for metalworking, where it would be more for like pressing in and carving out the metal as it's cooling to give it some ornate finish. There is a grindstone, but the grindstone is cracked in half.
okay. The grindstone, does it have like fresh dust, I guess, or the I'm blanking on the term right now.
This room doesn't look like it's been entered in many years. So the pathing of whatever creatures that had been seen ahead has not come in here. The grindstone looks like it might have cracked about the same time that the table had been used, so not anything too recent.
Okay, I'll kind of stick my head back out there, and just be like, hey! It looks like that tentacle dude doesn't come in here.
Ari rushes in.
So Arya is rushed into the room, hyperventilating slightly, as she'd caught wind of the tentacles ahead.
Yeah, I was about to suggest the same thing, so I like kind of motion to Valari, and we duck in, and I say, "All right, here's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing that he is some sort of guardian, and he will be back this way, but stay in the hallway. If we just hide ourselves, he should not come in here. He definitely goes in that crystal ballroom, so nobody wants to go in there. But it's quite possible that after he goes by us, we could rush down the hallway and choose left or right. In fact, I may guess we go right first because he came from the left side, right?
Correct.
Almost like he took a left, then doubled back, then went right. So if we go to the right, then he would go left and we would have more time off to the right. Does that make sense?
Okay. Clear as
But, like,
mud.
We'll be fine. Stay towards the front.
Why
As we
are
run
we?
away with him behind us, is what I'm saying.
Why are we so afraid of this guy?
Oh,
Because they killed me.
yes, one of them killed her once.
But like,
Remember
we killed him.
the librarian guy? Before
Yeah,
we
yeah, that
met
guy.
him the first time, one of these killed Ari in a basement of a house that had no doors or windows. So
Yeah, but you guys were like little baby adventurers then. We
mm,
just slain a hydra.
Yeah, but
It sucked out my brain.
it's kind of just jarring.
they just have some
emotionally-
trauma they're working through. It's okay.
What do you mean we? Like, I feel like you should have that trauma too.
I
You
mean,
watched
she's
your friend
okay. Like, she ended up not being harmed at all. And she found out she's a princess, so it couldn't have been that bad.
Okay, let's go with the
I think
plan.
it'll be okay.
I'm not saying let's go get him, but like, if he's there.
It'd be like revenge, you guys.
I mean, we already did get revenge. I mean, we killed the one.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
you
now
did.
you can kill his friend.
Look, let's just avoid the conflict for the first part. We could try and get that hammer. Might work out to our favor, right? So
It's best to hit the metal when it's hot.
Yes.
Thadric's Thursday thoughts.
I don't. Does that mean you're wanting to attack the mind flare from behind?
I'm just saying, if there's something in the way, it's better to get it out of the way than tiptoe around it.
Can I get
Oh,
a
that's
perception check from everyone?
Oh gosh.
There we go.
15?
Ooh,
21.
18.
13.
21. Ari, you're the only one to hear this. You hear some scuffing coming down the hallway.
I reach out to whoever's closest to me and make a it's coming motion, but I don't say anything.
How much light do you have in the room? Does anyone have any form of light at the moment?
I have
Other-
dark vision.
You have dark vision, but is there any light for the rest of the group?
Well, so I have the shield covered,
Didn't you throw that coin?
and then I threw the coin down the hall. So that coin is, I guess, the only source.
Okay, so there's a dim light coming from the coin. And as Ari reaches out and gains hold of a couple of you and says, shh, the light disappears briefly. And you hear a. And then the light gets bright and then dims immediately. And you hear a rustle briefly. Valari,
What did I see?
you didn't see anything. You're in
Just-
a room.
But I saw the light go out.
You saw the light go out.
But did I see why? Because I'm.
No, it's farther down the hall than your angle could see. You're kind of tucked into a room. Polari, I think you're the only one with dark vision, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So what you do see is you see a hooded figure come down the room and then stop briefly. And as you see it stop, in the back of your mind, you feel a sharp pain. And at that moment, each and every one of you feels a very similar pain, but you can't quite tell that the others are feeling it because it's pitch black to most of you.
I want to do a thing. Give me a second. I want to. We're in the dark, yeah?
Correct.
I want to cast Shadow Blade,
Okay.
and I want to throw it at the hooded.
You're able to cast Shadow Blade, but I'm going to describe what you hear and see and understand before you can throw it. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So what happens is each of you feels a little tug and a pain in the back of your mind. Polari, you get a weird, glimpse, almost if you're remembering something so vividly, but you don't think you've ever seen this. You see two tieflings of a very similar tonality of your own in coloring. fighting in tattered robes in the middle of a town square, each with a crossbow in hand, firing at oncoming humanoids. A few of these humanoids have fangs that you can see, and they're firing every shot and loading each other's crossbows and working in tandem to the point where it seems like they're one unit. They drop 10, 15, 20 creatures, and then finally, darkness comes in as it seems like 15 or 20 more approach their spot. Garth, in the back of your mind, you see that there's a portal that opens, and you see soldiers rushing through it from all angles around you. And as you see those soldiers rushing through, you see so many different pieces of weaponry. And through the portal, you actually see a bit of the scene that I just described for Volari. Creatures flying out of the sky and running on foot at a couple tiefling that are firing shots from crossbows as if they're one solid unit. Ari, in the back of your mind, you see an old man from behind you recognize as your grandfather, with the silver blade that he kept at his side at all points, rushing through a crowd of random cloaked figures. All of you are seeing this in the early evening of this space, and he's stabbing and slashing and throwing elbows and gets up to what you appear to see as a battle you don't know what is ahead. Astro lets out a little yelp and looks up, and you hear a whimper. None of you know what he sees at this point, but then you hear a little from the puppy. Thadric, in the back of your mind, the pull, the tug, you see a figure that looks like your father, strong and valiant, and hammering on a sword and throwing it to someone else, and hammering on another sword and throwing it to another person, and just really like putting final touches on weaponry as quickly as possible. And then at one point, sticks a hand into a leather glove and bends a piece of metal, and then throws the glove down and tosses it to another piece. Something that at that point in the back of your mind, you feel like you just want to drop a jaw at this human, at this figure. And as the figure turns, you look at it and you go, it's not my father, but it is my father. The grayed beard with braids down it looks so familiar to the point where it feels like you're looking at your father as you recall him from a couple years back from your travels, but almost like you look at yourself. And as you are all struck with these feelings and see these visions so vividly, there's a small cackle each of you hears in the back of your mind. Volari, you're able to see this figure turn into the room and walk around the table, and slowly walk around the table, putting out a very disgusting hand of 3 fingers, 1 thumb, claws about multiple inches long, and kind of tickling the ball of this glowing orb that almost floats out of its place, that Garth had momentarily taken a peek at earlier. As it floats, it glows in multiple colors, and it tickles the ball as it bounces, floating in space. And you hear, and it slowly walks around the table. The visions dissipate from your minds almost as quickly as they've shown up. And you can hear and see one another vaguely in the dim light of the room.
I still want to throw my shadow blade at the.
You want to throw the shadow blade? Please roll to attack. You roll at advantage.
Thanks for reminding me.
Mhm.
That's a 17.
17. It will hit. Please roll damage.
Okay, let me click back over there.
because we have our music on random, I really hope it's not some like jaunty tune at the moment.
That's 11.
11.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't. Hang on, it's more than that. Potentially.
Potentially.
I only rolled 2d8s. It's 15.
15. All right. Valari, with this image in your head and the frustration that you feel with the connectedness and this creature that appeared almost as the vision disappeared, you just throw your shadow blade with such anger, and it catches right into like the shoulder of this creature, and it's the opposite shoulder of the one that's got the hand out and reaching at the floating orb, and it catches and it kind of drops down a little bit, and you hear at this point I need you all to roll for initiative.
Oh boy.
I mean,
Yeah.
none of us know that happened.
None of you really
Well,
know
wait,
that it
Thad,
happened. As
Do you have low light vision or dark vision, Thad?
No.
As it happens, the hand that Valari actually had hit with the sword drops the coin, and you do see the hood kind of pull back a little bit, and tentacles drop and flay out from under it. There is a little vision in that room.
Is there anything in this room casting light?
Your room or the room that it's
The
in?
room that it's in where I hit it.
Yes, the coin that it dropped out of its
Okay,
hand.
can I also have cast thaumaturgy to have like made the coin bright?
No. The coin is already fairly bright at the moment as it had picked it up. You had thrown your blade, and at this point I need
But it comes.
let's start from the bottom. Valari, what is your initiative?
It was an 8.
8. What is Astro's?
I did not roll his.
Please roll a d20, and we'll get Astro with a +3. 11. All right. Cedric.
20.
20. Only slightly worse than before. Garth.
8.
8.
As well.
Exactly the same as before. Hey. Ari.
23.
Woo! Look at that. All right.
Okay, you're fine.
We are starting this little battle here. Ari, you're at the top of the turn order. You do see the coin drop out of this creature's hand, and as you see it drop out of the hand, and you recognize the 3-fingered and thumb hand and the tentacles that fall out of the hood as it kind of pulls back a little bit. How are you reacting?
How far away is it, and how much can I actually see through the doorway?
Through the doorway, you can see straight over to the other side of the room. It is about 15 feet across, and you can see the hood pull back and the tentacles go out and the hand drop the coin, but you don't see the rest of the body. It's kind of like coming around and being slightly visible in the doorway.
So if I were to chuck my axe, would I think I would be able to like make a shot, or would I be at disadvantage?
You would be at disadvantage because you'd be able to go for the tentacles or the hand. Maybe a little bit of like the front of the chest, but not enough to really do like a straight damage.
Okay. Then I'm going to, I think there's a hesitancy for Ari, of feeling like I did not want to fight this thing, but now I have to. So I want my back against a wall, so it cannot get to my brain. And I'm going to maybe scoot back so that if it tries to enter, like I'm going to shuffle slowly. So I'm not trying to like make a movement, but shuffle so I'm like away from the entrance. But as soon as I have eyes on it, I want to be able to ready throwing my axe.
So I'm assuming the entrance is like here, and you tuck up against the door, and you're like lean against it, and you're like keeping your head against the wall and sliding around a little bit, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you've got your axe ready, and you're just like scared and pulled back. The rest of the group kind of sees you duck into the darkness, and sees that their fighter has retreated. Thadric, it is your turn next. You can see very much the same thing. The coin dropping out of the hand and some tentacles showing.
Okay. Knowing that this thing has killed, or at least like seeing Ari's reaction here, Thadric's gonna pull out a big gun. I don't know if he's done this before, but basically, because it's not in the room yet, it's like right outside the door.
So what you see is there's the hallway. You guys are in a room at one side of the hallway, and it's on the other side. So it's essentially two rooms. You can see straight across as it's kind of making its loop. The rooms are flat against a wall on one side with the door opening against the wall, and then it kind of tucks into a little bit of space around the room, and it's coming into that opening space that you can see directly straight across. So if you're able to look directly straight across and it's coming into that space, you start to see that you might have a clear shot on it.
Okay. Well, I don't need a clear shot. What I would like to do is cast Wall of Fire.
Okay.
However, I would like to do it in essentially because the room is, or the hallway is 10 feet.
Yeah, the hallway is 10 feet across. Yep.
Do a 10-foot kind of ring around the creature.
Around the creature. So you kind of want to enclose the opening and everything that it might be moving into.
Yes, and it should like kind of grow and around.
Okay.
And I'll make the back side facing us, the not heat side.
Okay.
And then the inside. So every time, let's see. Every time the creature ends its turn within 10 feet of the inside, it's going to take 5d8 damage or save for half.
All right. So,
or if it tries to pass through.
So you've essentially engulfed the edges of this next room in flame, and it's caught in this flame at the moment. So it has to save currently, correct?
Yes, it's a Dex DC 17.
That is definitely not saving.
Okay, so 5d8. That's all. Oh, there's 14. Wow.
Sometimes the dice roll wonderfully. All right, 14 on the 5d8. So it catches flame, and you're hissing unlike any other humanoid you've heard.
Is it visible to where I would have a straight shot now with my ready to action?
How does it look on the outside? Is it a wall of flame that you can see through, or is it a wall of flame that's very challenging to see through?
It's blah, 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 blah. The other side deals no damage. I would imagine it's literally just flame.
Okay.
And the heat lines.
All right. So, Ari.
Oh, the wall is opaque.
Ari, it is very challenging to see through at the moment. And it hasn't moved any further than you've seen yet. So you've readied it.
Okay.
So if you get a chance, I'll let you know. And until it gets up to your turn. Yep. All right. Is that all you do, Thadric?
I would move. I'd like to be in a way that everyone could see around me, but I would be in the way if it came forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you could crouch a bit. You still have a bit of your stealth going on as you're moving about. So you could duck and hold forward just like you're ready to like protect the group.
Yeah.
All right. So it is Astro's turn, and he's kind of limping behind, and he whimpers, and he looks at Valari a bit and just kind of keeps a moment of quiet there. Garth, it is your turn.
I think
we have a boop that is fighting over here.
No.
There it is. It's the boop.
Okay.
Thank you for your point.
It's like Nathan with vegetables.
Precisely.
She's like, you woke me up for this.
Garth, it is your turn. You can kind of see up and over the shoulder of Thadric as he's crouched down, and there's the wall of flame. You do see a little bit of the tentacle.
Garth is going to move and place himself in front of Ari.
Okay.
And just say to the group, like, you know, he's gonna do like a quick like see where it is type thing. So if he's gonna see that it's wrapped in fire, he said, "Now may be our chance to get ahead of it."
So I imagine this kind of playing out. Correct me if I'm wrong. You like shoulder up to Thadric, and because he's crouched down low, you're peeking over his shield, and like you've got a finger ready to fire off magic missile or something, and
Yep.
you look over and you're like, "Let's go!" And you're trying to correct the group in their course of action. We will get back to your turn and see if the group responds to that as we let everyone settle into this first round. Valari, it is your turn.
What did Garth say?
He kind of leaned over his shoulder and says,
It's
"Now
open.
might be our chance to move."
I don't. Okay.
And earlier he had mentioned that you should go up the hall.
If I were to move in the direction that he wants me to, where would I have? Would I still have? Could I move 30 feet and still have an angle at this guy?
You could have an angle if it exited the doorway, yes. Because you can move 30 feet and you'd be at the crossroad, the T junction essentially of the hallways as they come together. And you could be ready to fire something off if you wish to
So-
ready an action.
No, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw and then I'm gonna run.
You're
down
going to
the
throw what?
hall. My dagger.
Oh, you're
my
Alright.
shadow blade.
Your Shadow Blade, you're
My
going to be at disadvantage because
blade.
you don't have a very solid view of the thing.
But I have advantage because it's dimmer dark lighting.
All right, so you're rolling at normal.
Yeah, baby. 24.
That does hit. Your Shadow Blade is able to attack.
And that will be.
I have to go get more.
Hold up, hold up. Here's what I gotta ask. I'm not letting this one play. How's he got 10,000 more? He just had 10,000.
Because
It's-
I've been here for like 3
He's
years.
been watching us for 3 years, and
we-
people haven't had any way to
we-
redeem their points.
Guys, we are at 2 years and a month at this point. So if we've had people come in 2 years ago and have watched through, they probably have 100,000 points at this moment.
Nathan, just look at it this way: everyone genuinely cares about your health, and they
We
want to
love
make
you.
sure that you're
They
eating
don't
your
care
daily
about
dose
my
of
health.
vegetables.
They're doing this to ping me.
Eat your roughage.
So
She has
so
to get more.
everyone who's listening, Nathan is eating more vegetables. Lauren has run off screen to get more vegetables
Because
because
he's already ate about a cup's worth.
we are sitting. Nathan, I believe if I remember all of the numbers right, this is the last one. Don't quote me.
What is it that Papa says? I'm strong because I eat my spinach.
Yeah, something like that. You can be like Popeye. But we've limited it so you don't eat too many vegetables because that would be bad for your health. Because Nathan doesn't eat vegetables, it might actually mess with his system. You know, ecosystems and whatnot, foreign objects.
Well, we're hoping.
Hashtag not science. Don't listen to that. But I did roll a 20, so I hit him. With
You
my-
rolled a 20 flat.
for my damage.
Oh, okay,
'Cause that
20
was
for
a
damage.
24
Yep.
to hit,
Yep.
and then I got a 20 damage. So I hit him with my shadow blade, so it's all the shadows like penetrating him.
As
And I'm running down
Yep.
the hall to where he had previously said we should go.
yeah, as you hit, you hear a and you believe you've hit somewhere in the upper chest as you kind of jumped out the hall and threw the blade in the room and continued running. This creature's turn. With the flame wall up, it does have to make a check, correct?
Yep, a dex save.
Dex save. A 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna take 5d8, and that's a better number. 32.
32. You hear a scream and a sizzle as the damage continues to burn this creature within the flame walls that you've set up. As you hear that, you all see through your minds very weird flashes, very brief moments. continuing what you had seen earlier, Valari, you see a creature tackle one of the two tiefling. You believe it's the male tiefling, and a few shots from the female tiefling go into the creature that tackled the male tiefling, and a hand goes down to pick up the male tiefling, and it stops right there. Garth, you see a brief moment of the forces running through the portal, and then suddenly there's no more that run through the portal ahead of you. And you see a clear picture of the forces that have run through quickly getting picked off left and right from cloaked figures. Ari, you see continually the silver blade that you recognize slicing through and then getting knocked out of the hands of its owner, and then a smaller blade coming off of the hip that is made of the same silver and making quick jabs left and right, and it goes blank. Thadric, you see more blades coming off of the forge that are getting hammered on and tossed quickly, and the figure ahead of you seems so incredibly familiar, but it's not your father or your brothers who've worked the forges. Instead, you almost believe it might be yourself, and you see this figure grab a blade, barehanded, red hot, throwing it to somebody, smacking the hand on the leather vest that it's wearing, shaking it briefly, grabbing a hammer and smashing down on another piece of metal, and it goes into slow motion of flame and sparks coming off of this blade, and then you're back into action here. And that is the end of this turn. It is back up to Ari. You've each been encountered with this vision in the back of your head.
So I could technically go to the door, go out in the hallway, and start heading down.
Down towards Valari, yeah. You may. The flame is actually providing a little bit of light in the hallway, so you can see Valari if you go out into the hallway and see that she's hustling down the hall and has turned around, kind of watching and ready. So you see your friend ready to be there.
Okay. I'll look to them and I'll give a nod because I had heard Garth earlier say this might be our chance.
Yep.
And I'm going to stay as far away as I can, but I will enter the hallway, keeping my back still to the wall.
Yeah, so you keep your back to the wall and you can hustle down. You don't get as far as you'd hoped because you're kind of running sideways, keeping your back to the wall, watching. You only get about 20 feet down the hallway.
Okay.
Dang grapevines.
Thadric, it is your turn.
I will move further down the hallway.
All right.
Still trying to be between anyone I can be in this thing.
Yeah.
When I move my 30 feet or whatever,
Yep.
I would fire a guiding bolt through the flame at this creature.
Yeah, so you step out into the hallway and you're able to fire your guiding bolt and keep your shield up and most protect Ari, who is at this point, from what you hear, scraping her armor against the wall in complete fear.
Is this at a disadvantage because it's through the fire?
Disadvantage, yes.
Okay. All right, it's not the worst. It's not the worst. 18 to hit.
It hits.
Yes. And I'm gonna do some radiant damage to this bad boy. A total of, I can't math because I'm bad at it.
Okay.
13.
13. All right. Radiant damage. 13. Perfect. You send the guiding bolt in, and then you just back up, and you kind of feel your armor bump up against Ari's, and you keep a shield up in front of both of you as you hear her armor scraping against the wall, and you're just providing a protection there. Garth, it is your turn as Astro hustles down the hall, kind of hiding behind Thadric and right at Ari's feet.
So I will move one full move action's work towards them, and as I pass the doorway that I know the Mind Flayer is in that room,
Yep.
I'm going to cast Create Bonfire in the doorway.
Perfect.
So it's another fire barrier that it has to come through if it wants to get to us. That should remain. I don't know if I have to be within the range for it to stay. I think it's only in the range to cast.
I believe it's only in the range to cast. That's a very situational skill, so we'll let it be there.
So I will be concentrating on this spell for 1 minute.
All right.
It's going to be there to give us a minute's worth of time at least.
All right. And then finally, we get down to Valari, who is hustled down the hall, throwing her shadow blade, and is now kind of watching the rest of the group come towards her. Valari, do you have anything else to do?
They're coming towards me, but
They're-
they haven't made it past me.
No, they're all coming up towards you. If anything, Garth is the closest to you. You do see that Thadric is protecting what seems to be Ari and Astro at the moment, as they're both kind of like squished up behind him.
Do I have any idea of how much, like how injured this?
You don't. There was the wall of fire. You heard some screams. You know that you sunk your shadow blade in. You saw that Garth threw up a flame. Like, this thing is at least completely trapped in a small room with flames and some damage already, but you don't know what's going on.
Okay, well, I'm gonna move back into the doorway and kind of block it as they try to pass.
You're gonna
by.
hustle up in front.
Yeah, I'm gonna move back down the hallway, block the doorway as they try to move past.
Okay. So we're looking at the T here, and you were at the T. You come back down to where the thing was at.
Yeah.
Okay.
To block that doorway.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm gonna block that doorway, and I'm gonna throw my shadow blade again.
So you pull your shadow blade back for your bonus action.
So
Correct. You pull your shadow blade
I
back for
don't
your
think
bonus
it's
action.
a bonus action. I think it automatically recalls.
I believe it's bonus for that. But if you pull it back for a bonus, you have an action to throw. So you hustle down, you pull your shadow blade back, and you wish to rethrow. Correct. That's your goal.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you rush down and you pull your shadow blade back, you kind of look through the flames, and because you have a little bit of resistance, you stick a hand in, and you're able to kind of block the flames briefly, and you look through, and you see a bundle on the floor on fire. It's sizzling, and the shadow blade in your hand, you pull your arm back to prevent any damage to happen, and you believe the creature to be dead at this point.
Okay. So when I recalled it, I see it as dead?
Yeah, you recalled it, and you put your arm in to get a good throw, and then you kind of block the flames briefly to get a throw, and this creature is like flaming on the floor, and you assume it's to be dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it anyways.
You're gonna throw it anyway?
Yeah. I had a
So you
14.
throw it. You throw it at this lump on fire on the floor.
It's a 14.
It's a 14. It'll hit.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't cost me anything to throw it, so it's a spell I already cast.
As you throw the blade and it hits, regardless of your damage, it sinks right into this flaming mound, and you don't hear any screams or any hisses or any flails. No movement happens. It just continues to flame. The table that had the crystal ball on it cracks, and the crystal ball drops and shatters. You do see a few fleeting, seemingly memories pass, and you kind of feel them as they fly out. You feel for some reason that you were a small boy sitting on a raft swimming with his brother for a very fleeting second, and then another fleeting memory of a first kiss of a young lady and her lover, and your lover is an orc, and then another fleeting moment of an old man sitting next to an old woman on a front porch in a swing. A couple steins of ale as they clack them together, and you see the ale go up into the air, and then it dissipates very quickly. So whatever was in this ball just shatters and hits you, and you experience other lives. But this creature, however, doesn't continue to move. The flames continue to crackle and boil, and it smells of reeking, burning flesh, and worse yet, rotting flesh burning.
Perfect.
You are all out of combat at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna kind of stay there until they get by, though.
The whole group has made it up to the T point.
Okay, because I was just like doubtful.
What are you doing, Valari? Come on!
I'm
I'll let
making
the wall
sure
of fire.
he's dead.
I'll let
He's
the wall
gone.
of fire drop,
As a wall of fire drop, there's still a small bonfire there, and Valari sees a charred, stinking mess with her shadow blade stuck into it, a shattered sphere of glass on the floor.
He's totally charred, right? Like his clothing
Oh,
and all that jazz.
it's a charred mess that Valari can see if she wishes to let you all know.
I think it's dead. It's pretty burned up.
Okay, well that went a lot better than last time. I put my hand axe back and redraw my TikTok blade.
What happened?
Okay.
What happened? Where did it go? What's that smell?
Wow, you can smell?
Oh, I experience everything here, Ari. Oh, why do I feel like that thing killed you?
I mean, it didn't, but its brother did.
Oh.
Cousin?
I feel like throwing up right now. Do you?
I'll give you a minute, buddy.
Ugh.
I put the TikTok sword back.
What's it like when a sword throws up?
No, now.
Daggers shoot forth everywhere.
There's just flakes.
Extra poison damage.
Just flakes.
Well, okay, that might not. I assume that it's possibly the only guardian, but I think we need this hammer sooner rather than later, just in case.
Let's go.
Yeah, I can't do that again.
That's okay. Sorry. Thank you. I shake my head, shake it out.
Onward.
You may either
still
go
be-
left or right. As you look left or right, it goes about 20 feet in either direction before the halls head north.
Well, we can assume that they dead end, right? Because he came back and he didn't just go in a circle. So,
Yeah.
like, unless there's like more.
I say we're assuming there was only one.
I mean, he looks like the same dude.
Don't all mind flayers look the same?
Wow, really?
I knew somebody was gonna
Wow.
Says the T.
Wow.
Let's go right.
Valari, do you
Doing
catch
it.
up to the group?
go. Yeah.
As you head right and you make your way around the corner, there's a faint green glow that comes. And you walk down a hallway briefly, and you notice that the wall that you were up against is merely a wall that was about 10 feet deep and about 50 feet across. And you make your way around, and there's a large space. In the center of the space, there's a pedestal, a stone pedestal that is unfortunately covered by a pool that's built around, seemingly of flesh, and some funky teeth and growth-like objects. The pool is about 10 feet wide. So in the center, there's a small pedestal and about 10 feet wide. You can kind of see through some translucent areas of this pool. In the pool, it's a very green glow. You see a few small swimming objects. And then at the corners of this thing is a very purple, gross flesh that rises up into a few small teeth-like spikes. The room has a faint glow about it, and it seems to be fairly quiet. You do see the dust having been cleared very cleanly around this pool. The swimming objects, only a couple continue to swim around the pedestal. You can see through the liquid that there's a shining hammer sitting on the pedestal in the center.
Okay, but like, what's down the other hall?
Down the other hall, if you look off to your left as you enter the room, you kind of see back around. So this hallway split around a wall that protects the room essentially from a straight angle in.
Oh, okay, I got it. So it's more of a barricade rather than.
Yeah, so it went
Okay.
to a T, and on the other side of the T, it's two entries into the room, basically from either side. And then it's a big open room with this pedestal and the pool sitting around it in the center.
That skeleton said nothing about the rest of this. He just said there was a pedestal.
I mean, he didn't lie.
Anybody know what this is?
Valari, you're able to see a small movement in one of the back corners.
There's someone here.
I draw TikTok again.
What's going on? Wait,
Buddy, I have no idea.
I'm scared. Are you scared?
I'm done now. I want to get out of here.
Yeah, me too.
I believe someone in chat said yeet the halfling.
That's up to the party. The DM can do nothing on this, but
How
I'm interested.
how wide is the pedestal?
the pedestal seems to only be about 2 foot by 2 foot, enough to hold a decent sized hammer, and that's sitting in a 10 foot by 10 foot pool with this organic compound on the outside.
Am I able to understand anything about the movement that I saw?
It
Is
seems
it-
to be something sitting in the back corner. What
But I
is
mean-
going on?
What is going on?
We
I
both
got
have
this!
brilliant ideas.
No,
Oh.
I've got it!
I was just sitting here. I'm like, it's
I
it.
also have an idea.
I
No!
okay.
Sorry! I can do this, it's easy! I learned this one!
Words?
I have a spell! I learned a spell!
Retrieve hammer?
Telekinesis!
Oh.
I told
I
you.
literally
to
just
read
pick up
it.
an object!
Is there a weight restriction?
Yes, there's
Yeah.
a weight restriction, but
1,000 pounds, I
It's
believe.
a-
It's
1,000
not
pounds.
limiting. Yeah.
Oh, that's much cleaner than my idea of reanimating
Also
that
better
thing
than
we
the
just
spider
killed.
web I was planning.
I mean, I can
Yes.
animate
As-
I can animate the hammer. If we
As
even
you
want.
are all freaking out about this, Valari sees more movement in the back corner, and a creature stands up, hooded, and starts rushing towards the group.
My shadow blade is still active. Yeah.
It is.
I want to. How far away is it?
It's about
didn't
30
know there was
feet.
a creature.
I'm gonna rush in. I want to swing my shadow blade and follow up with a
Crossbow attack.
crossbow
Okay,
attack.
let's roll for these things, and then we'll go into initiative if we need to.
How do we know it's a bad guy?
We're in a dungeon and it's in the dark and they're being sneaky as shit, so it's a bad guy.
The
I
bad guy.
might just been saving for rescue.
That's a 24 to hit
Okay.
on the shadow blade.
Yep.
So I'm flipping between tabs to get back to the roll damage. That is 13 damage.
All right.
And then with my crossbow, that is a shoot. Sorry. Okay. My crossbow is a 9 to hit,
Okay.
and it would be. Sorry, I keep clicking the wrong thing. I'm not watching. I'm seeing it scrolling.
It says butt puppies treats thanks to butt bots. Can I get you to roll a dexterity save on your shadow blade?
Dexterity save. Oh, I should have rolled that at advantage because it's dim or dark. But that's a 15.
15. As you go to throw your shadow blade, you let go, and the shadow blade sticks up into the ceiling. Can I have
I
you?
didn't even
Can
roll
I
advantage.
have you roll dexterity on your crossbow?
Yeah, that's a 20.
A 20. You feel the crossbow kind of waver, but you're able to fire a shot regardless. And it was a 9?
Yeah.
It clangs off of an
yeah.
armor plate under the hoods of this creature. And you hear.
Do they hear it too?
They do. Everyone
Okay,
hears
good.
it.
So they know I'm
And
not crazy.
It rushes forward and gets right up in your face, Valari, as you move forward. What are you here for the hammer? And some tentacles drop out of the hood. And it gets up in your face, and you feel you have the stench hit you as if someone had thrown out old fish about 5 days ago, and then continued to throw more fish and diapers and other things on it,
And diapers.
and diapers and dead corpses and like various things that just are the worst rotten feelings and smells that you've ever had. And the tentacles kind of flutter in front of you. Are you here for the hammer?
This guy's wearing metal, huh?
Well, I've already done like I
It-
mean, unless you were gonna
it-
let me do more.
I will allow
I
you
did
to
like a
I
full
will,
combat
I
action.
will allow you to respond as it has approached you immediately.
I want to use my shadow blade and swing at its face.
You may respond vocally. You've
Okay.
expended all of your actions.
I'm gonna yell something. I'm just
What are
trying
you
to
gonna yell?
decide what Valari would yell. Would I would know this is a mind flare?
You recognize it as something that has murdered your friend and sucked her brain out, and you watched the brutal details.
Okay,
of it.
I would say something to the effect of, "It's another effing mind flare. Get the F out."
So Valara yells that to the group and is like standing stoic in the face of this creature. Let's roll for initiative to finish out whatever this could be.
Oh, I already rolled that.
Oh, yeah.
Oi. Let's go from the top. Ari.
That'll be a 17.
17. Garth.
22.
22, my lord. Tadric.
3.
3. 3. Valari.
It was a 10.
A 10 from Valari. I will roll Astro for you.
Just on the diaper smell. Whenever something smells really bad, I always tell Jared it smells like old dirty diapers. So I have a feeling that's why he wrote
Well,
that in.
So, Valari yells this out. There is a effing mind flayer. At the top of the turn order is Ari. Ari, how do you react?
How far away is it?
It's
from
about
me?
20 feet away. It's kind of around the tank that is there.
The tank?
The weird structural thing around the pedestal that seems to be organic, that has a green glowing goo and swimming stuff.
Gross. So much gross.
Yep.
From memory, how far is Brianna's distance?
You don't know for sure, but you could probably have Brianna do a thing here.
Okay. I'm going to use my movement to go opposite the tank so that I have a clear
Okay?
sight. I'm going to drop TikTok sword on the ground. Grab my hand axe.
Okay? You hear as you drop it to the floor.
Sorry, buddy. Brianna, cast web. And I'm going to chuck my hand axe at it.
Roll your
I would
roll your hand axe at disadvantage as you chuck, grab, and throw. And initiate a
It's a drop
command.
though, right?
What's that?
I have a vocal component. I have a moving component.
Yep. You could
I interact with
you
the
can
object.
interact with the
and
object
then-
and you're attacking. Usually your interact and attack are usually the same, as I recall correctly. Nathan is thinking through DM's manual.
I was told if I put it away that was a full, and
Okay,
then I would
we'll
have
allow
to
it.
use
You
the
roll
full
you roll at standard here.
Okay. I'm still figuring. I normally just have swords. So
We play a lot of home rules and a lot of feels.
It doesn't really matter. Anyways, that's a 12.
Okay. That does miss.
And then whatever Brianna does.
Brianna. All right. Brianna, what did you initiate her command to be? What do you say to her exactly?
I said cast web.
Cast web. So the little spider brooch that's kind of like clinged onto your armor comes alive and skitters up onto your shoulder and turns and faces her rear end and fires a shot. Cast Web does seem to catch an arm and catch it up against like the hood and the head of this creature. Not a full grasp of the thing, but it's like it's caught as it's like kind of reaching out and it catches and pulls. So it's got a hand free and can kind of see, but it doesn't have like both arms ready to go. So it's in a disadvantaged state.
Top down tabletop.
Hey, hey, top down tabletop.
What's
Thank
the
you.
sorry,
You're here for the start of fighting a mind flayer.
We are fighting
so
Mind Flayer. So welcome, welcome,
The second
welcome.
mind flayer, and most of us are out of spells. Just saying.
Most. Yeah.
I've been out
So
of spells
so
since I was.
the spider brooch on Ari's shoulder had fired a shot and clinged the arm of the mind flayer up on its head, and it's kind of hissing and flailing its tentacles. The hand axe, however, went over the shoulder. Garth, it is your turn.
It is my turn. Garth is going to see this hand axe go whizzing by.
Yep.
And he's going to say, no, I want that to hit. And he's going to cast Catapult, but send it in the direction.
Oh, look at that. Catapult.
Reverse,
All right.
reverse.
All right, for those of you who've just joined, Garth is the master of catapult. In season 1, he
This is
ended up
so much.
smashing somebody with what a
bag-
dry baguette
baguette.
and doing a
Mhm.
lot of damage, near fatal damage, if I recall.
I think it
uh,
was day old.
It was a day. Oh, it's a day old baguette, so it was hard and crusty. So it was near fatal damage with that hard and crusty. Oof, ouch. So let's see. 2 years later, 2 physical years in playing this game, Garth, what does that do? Do you hit?
I'm going to
It's
say
a dex throw, right?
portent. It's a dex throw. Your portent number is going to be 11.
Ouch. With that dex, oh, that is a total of 12.
Yeah, nope. And I'm doing this at level 4 because, like, I know that I know how my party feels about mind flayers, and I had to watch one of my party members die to a mind flayer once.
Yeah,
I'm not letting that
the
happen
one that you're
again.
betrothed to, and there's a impending nuptials for.
Yeah.
We just
Also,
traded rings.
We just
guys.
manhandled one though.
You just manhandled one.
So I'm just gonna really quick roll 6d8.
Ooh. Can
like to-
can you roll any die and tell me if it's odd or even? And I'm going to say if it matches my odd or even, that does an additional d6 of
Okay.
damage because you hit blade first.
It is odd.
Odd. We have an even on this side, so you don't get additional damage, but you get your original massive throw there.
Okay. 6d8. There we go. All right, we got some good rolls here. That's 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 7 is 19, plus 5 is 24, plus 7 is 31, plus 4 is 35 points of damage.
Nice.
I will let you say, or I will tell you here. That hit is exactly bloodied here, and bloodied is 50% health. So you catch that blade as it's flinging past, and you're like, not today, and you slam it right back in this mind flayer's face. It ends up catching your butt first, but you don't care because at this point you're filled with rage as you recall the death of the one who just threw the axe, and you see flashes of that moment in your brain as the butt of the axe hits the mind flayer and the tentacles kind of flay out just a little bit. You hear a hiss and a scream. Anything else to your turn, or is that it?
Well, it is standing directly in front of Valari.
It is. Valari.
Yeah, like I
Valari
can
is
smell his
rushed up.
breath.
Valari is rushed up and is right in its face.
I believe that as a halfling, I can move through my teammate's space.
As
I will impose.
as anyone within the D&D, the D&D 5e universe at least, you can move through any one of your friendly's space.
That's right.
Anyone can.
Yep.
Okay, so I will actually impose myself between Valari and the Mind Flayer.
So you rush up and you kind of push between, and you're like pushing up against the gut of this mind flayer and like lower chest to get in the way.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
And you
not my.
You kind of lean up against Valari, and you've got like leverage on Valari's like torso, and are pushing up against this creature to get in the way.
Yep.
All right. As the Mind Flayer's turn comes next, it reaches out, and it was originally like reaching out for Valari, but as you pushed in, it reaches out for you, Garth.
I'm pretty sure I have.
Is it reaching out to attack me?
It's reaching out with its tentacles to come down at you.
Yeah. That's an 8 on the dice.
That's an 8 on the die, so it is a 15 to hit.
Yes, I remembered that earlier this morning in game time, I cast Mage Armor.
Yes, you did.
So I have an 18 armor class.
The tentacles come down and they almost hit your face, but then they smack against something magical, and you feel almost like the saliva come against you, but you see it roll down these little magical shields that kind of pop up in front of you and prevent you from even getting the saliva of this beast on you.
I almost picture it like only when things get close does it appear. Like it's almost like I'm wearing the Rohirrim helmet that Mary gets, so it's like it comes in for my face, but then like hits against that size and that nose bridge guard that it wasn't expecting.
Yeah, exactly that. And at that moment that you rushed in and put your arms in, you do feel this like burst of energy within you, that you're like this frontline warrior, and this new feeling for Garth. As this is one of the first times that Garth has rushed in and put himself in front of people, as he's the glass cannon of the group. You feel this invigoration that may result in something fresh and new later. Astro is kind of at the back of the group and lets out a "Rawr!" and runs up and does the same, kind of leans up against your leg, Garth, and you feel him put a lot of his weight into leaning against you, and he bites out at the Mind Flayer's leg and actually kind of latches in and does a couple points of damage as he latches into the leg and is really trying to protect Valari, who's been at the front of the line here. Valari, it is your turn as Garth pushes in front of you and kind of keeps the tentacles from hitting you and ends up like bouncing off his mage armor. And you see Astro down at your feet right next to Garth, protecting you as you've gone up close. What do you do?
Yeah, I have to agree with chat that this is very effed up. Like, why are the spellcasters right up in the face of this guy and the fighters in the effing back here?
How do you deal with that though?
I'm going to step around Garth. I'm not going to be rude and shove him, but I'm going to step.
You're gonna get in front of Garth.
Or step to the side of the Mind Flayer, whatever.
So we have a fight for who is literally in front of this Mind Flayer.
No, eat me.
told them to get the F out. I told them not to.
We can't. We have.
Top Down Tabletop, thanks for joining in. We have a little bit of an interesting dynamic here. We have Lindsay playing a tiefling and Nathan playing a...
I just want to make something very clear to as well. Scott Denuso earlier, when the Mind Flayer got in my face,
I saw.
claimed that Jared did not have the guts to kill Valari.
Oh, I was trying.
I said, he's probably going challenge accepted.
I was trying to. Someone pushed in the way of it.
Exactly.
But Top Down Tabletop, we have a tiefling here, and we have a halfling that just pushed in the way. The
halfling sorcerer and a halfling wizard.
Yeah, the halfling and the tiefling, when they had met, I believe the opening line was, "Oh, I haven't seen one of you lot before," or something along that idea. As the halfling is always seeking knowledge
Or
and
it
was
was
like
more-
jotting notes of every sort.
I think
that
it was
he could.
more of, oh, I've only read about you.
Yeah, so there was an interesting dynamic to begin with, which was like butting heads, but now we have this little wizard jumping
Which-
in and like putting his
which
fists up.
Makes me jump back to chat again. It makes Valari not the racist one in this context.
It's not the racist one. He's diving in
Or
because
racist.
he enjoys your company, Valari.
Oh, okay.
He enjoys your company, even though you might be abrasive in the group.
research.
Here
For
it is.
research.
We are here. This is a dynamic that's very interesting. So welcome. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna see if this mind flayer murders everybody. I still have a nat 20 to roll. I mean, use.
I
And
too.
it.
Oh. Essie, stop short because it's Lindsay's turn and she has a nat 20.
What I've done with you know what I've done with the nat 20.
128 points.
All right. So
Chromatic orb at your highest level.
I will throw away my shadow blade for that. Now that you guys have brought it up.
Help.
All right. So,
By mind flayer number 3 of this series.
how many hits has this mind flare taken? Can you
Enough.
remind me?
He's bloodied.
All right. Okay. Then I'm not gonna throw it away for a chromatic. orb.
No, you better. Otherwise, you won't kill it. And it'll murder you all. Because I still have a nat 20.
No,
He
a
does have a
nat,
nat 20.
You think a nat 20 with
Not
the shadow blade won't do it up close?
Cedric
Use
used
your
his 20
chromatic
on
orb.
himself.
Just use your chromatic orb. You know
Use
what
it
to
on
do.
a chromatic
You
orb.
know what
All
to
right.
do.
All right.
You
All
know what
right.
to do.
I'm gonna-
It's this chromatic orb, sir. That's all you do. That's all you do.
That's the nat 20 is
Okay, I'm stepping around this. I don't want to waste a spell slot, so I'm stepping around Garth. I'm not going to shove him, but I'm going to step around him. I'm going to use my Shadow Blade. Nat 20, so it hits. Whatever. Melee attack.
I will say, if she doesn't drop this guy right now, and Jared uses his nat 20 to kill Lindsay, I
will.
won't feel bad.
Okay,
I won't either.
So a 24, because the nat 20, we do
24 hits.
full base damage.
Yeah.
Right? So, well, a nat 20 hits.
Nat 20
I
hits,
used
yeah.
a nat
Yep,
20.
yep, yep.
So I get 24 plus 17, which is 41 points of damage. And I didn't have to burn a spell slot for it. And you know what? For kicks and giggles, because you made me mad, we're gonna go with my crossbow feat and we're gonna fire off a bolt. You know,
What? How much does Shadow Blade do?
3d8 at level 3. It's a level 2, but I did a level 3 when I cast it in the last
Gotcha.
room. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. So I'm not even going to use a special bolt. I'm just going to use a normal bolt. So that is a 16 to hit. Does that hit?
No.
Okay. So it doesn't do any damage. So just 41 points of damage.
Can you please roll on your D100
I actively disbelieve.
right here? Merry Christmas.
Oh, and we're doing this. I forgot.
Yep. So Valari, you slice in, you fire a bolt, and you're just very angry. And as you do this, why is my file not loading?
It's
I
a
love
34.
this. There we go.
whenever it
34.
comes up.
We roll on the wild magic table of Valari. At this point, Valari, you're just like going in a blind rage, and you slice down and you nearly cleave this creature in half as you come down with the shadow blade and you fire a bolt, and it ricochets off of the wall as you miss, and you're like huffing and puffing. You don't even feel a pocket watch on your side buzzing.
My only regret is that Sarah's not here for this.
Yeah, well, you could have called her earlier. So what happens is at that moment, Ari lifts up off of her feet and is like flying
And you hear
lifted.
Dua Lipa in the background saying, "Ooh, I'm levitating."
Yeah. So Ari is just like hovering and flying at this moment, and this mind flayer drops to its knees and falls over, and you hear a little and it falls to its death. And Valaria is huffing and puffing. Please roll one more time on your wild magic as you're in a heat of rage as this has happened.
Did I take a level in Barbarian? That I
Yeah,
don't know
you're
about?
a barbarian. So 70 flat gets you additionally. Valaria, as you're huffing and puffing, suddenly you like shape and warp into a small little lily.
Me?
Yep.
I'm a flower?
You're a lily in a pot sitting on the floor, spitting fire for the next 2 minutes. As you're sitting there spitting fire and flailing around, you have a little bit of an understanding of what's going on, but you're just this cute little lily sitting on the floor in a pot, breathing fire and flailing around. You can't speak, but you can understand everyone. The mind flayer is dead.
Guys?
Valaria is a plant for a few minutes, and you are stuck in this room.
Can I move while I'm levitating? Am I just
You can.
floating? Or
You
am I
have
flying
fly on you, so you can kind of fly about.
Oh,
You
it's
have the same
fly.
movement speed.
No,
You have the
I'm
same
flying.
movement speed, but you can fly.
Guys, should I just
Go get the thing.
throw my hammer?
Just get
Hey,
the
yeah,
thing.
that worked out well. I was just gonna say we could throw a flower. That would be easier. But yeah, why don't you just go fly and do it?
I fly over. Do I have to go through the blob?
No, you can reach down into the pool. It's essentially a pool up and around this thing, so you have to kind of get your hand in the goo, and there's a few small swimming creatures within it.
Okay.
Please roll me a sleight of hand or dexterity check, whatever you believe is to be stronger.
We'll do sleight of hand. Dang it! These dice are killing me. It's a 1.
1. You fumble for the hammer. You knock it off the pedestal, and it sinks to the bottom. So it is about 3.5 feet in this water, laying on its side. Someone has to reach in or dive in for it.
Never mind, guys.
No.
You want to make it telekinesis? Sorry.
Yeah, Garth, do your thing.
Hey,
And
how much?
I have a backup if yours doesn't work.
How much do you think it weighed in bumping it?
I give an approximation.
Your approximation is off because it was in a liquid that you weren't quite sure of the viscosity. So it could be 10 pounds, it could be 50 pounds, it could be 4 pounds. But you believe it to be a fairly sturdy piece.
More than 10 pounds.
There you go.
Look, I'm gonna try one thing before I pull out the big guns. And I look in at the pool and cast catapult on it,
All right.
launching it out into the corner of the room.
All right.
And I'm casting it at 3rd level, which means that I'm able to move 15 pounds worth
Perfect.
of weight.
You're able to move this, but just barely.
Yes. So it comes shooting out of the pond and goes into the corner.
It blasts through a wall of the pond, and the liquid spews across the floor. The couple small creatures that are swimming around in there fall onto the floor, and they look almost like a strange crustacean with a tail on it. And they hiss and squeal, and then they just kind of fall to their death. Garth, as you see these things in the back of your head, you start to realize that this might have been the way the mind flayers continue their spawn. As you'd heard that they had a pool of spawn and that they implant them. And that's all you really remember and understand.
Baby flayers.
Blech.
At this point, the hammer is off in the corner, and as you smack it up against the corner, you realize there's a small wooden door back in that corner. And at that point, The room has a weird sludge on the floor. 2 dead mind flayers spawn. 1 dead mind flayer. A raging tiefling who must have had a weird barbarian ancestor of sorts.
Not
And
a
you are-
tiefling. It's a flower.
Oh, a tiefling flower right now. After a few
It's
moments,
a pink lily.
After a few moments, this pink lily, who's breathing fire and flailing everywhere, just frustrated, turns back into Valari, and she's standing there going, and breathing and huffing, and sees that her pup is sitting next to her side the whole time, having sat next to the flower, and the hammer sitting in the corner. The hammer glows with a shine that almost seems like it had been polished and is sitting in a bunch of firelight, but it doesn't emit any of this light. It just seems to glow in that aspect, so it can be seen in almost any darkness. Thadric, as you look at the hammer, your jaw nearly drops as it's come out of the sludge. This seems to be the most perfect, well-formed hammer, the one that you wish to have your hands on and use at any point. As you've been around forges, you understand that to be like the thing to have. Ari, you feel the same. You haven't seen a hammer more beautiful than this. As you see the glow, this is quite exciting for you both to see this beautiful magical hammer. You are all in this room with the door sitting next to this glowing hammer. Garth and Valari, you see the hammer as something that might be kind of cool, but since you've not been around forges and working most of your life, it doesn't seem as enticing as it might be to the others.
It's just a tool that we need to break the freaking stone.
Let's get this back.
And then they said we could have it.
Look, we got a door. I say we use it.
Okay.
You
Lead on. Frontling fighter man.
Yes, I was very brave, he says.
Or dumb.
What? Great.
The door,
All right,
the
boys,
door
let's
sits
go.
there as a standard wooden door, but it kind of glimmers with a little bit of the stonework, as if when the Mind Flayer had died, whatever magical projection was on there, it disappeared, and the door is visible. As you push the door open, there's no latch, there's no lock. You look into an underground jungle. Some dim lights.
I do need to retrieve my hand axe and TikTok before we
Yeah,
leave.
TikTok, the sword, and the hand axe are back in your possession. As the door gets pushed open, you see an underground jungle. A small entryway of grass greets you. Deep, thick forest. Some weird lights coming down from the ceiling. And across the way, you do see what seems to be a staircase about 400 feet across on a wall that leads upwards.
All right, we got the
Stay-
sword. There's a staircase. Let's go.
I take the stairs very, very, very carefully.
Well, we have to go through.
It's 400 feet across through this jungle.
Yeah, we gotta go through the jungle first.
As the session ends, you are now being greeted with what's ahead. There's a faint roar in the distance and some rustling through the trees. At this point, we're going to stop at the doorway. If any rests are taken or anything, we'll let you know at the start of the next episode, but this is where we're going to end for the night. Jared, could you queue up the next group to follow?
Who we're raiding?
Yeah, we're gonna
Queue up
raid.
our
We're
raid.
gonna raid. So awesome. Jared's got a group for us. Top Down Tabletop. Thank you for raiding. Whoever's still here hanging on, we play every 2 weeks. So come back in 2 weeks from now. We'll continue the story. Next week, however, we will do a rerun of an episode that we feel pertinent to understanding the story. We've been trying to make sure everyone is up to date. So follow our channel, hop on there, take a look. will be around, and I will give a spoiler. In a handful of weeks, we're going to go to a secondary group that these players have played in our off season, and you'll get to see some of the secondary characters that we've played. And coincidentally, it's this group that gets to play exactly as it is in the secondary characters. So stay tuned for that. Look at our Discord, join in, chat, hang out. We got a lot of fun stuff hanging out there. Look at our social. We do giveaways from time to time. And follow this channel, and you can find us next week with a rerun, and in 2 weeks, continuation of the story. Now, who are we rating?
We'll see. I'll push the button.
We'll see.
And we'll see.
All right, pushing the button.
Who
Random
knows?
raid.
Random raid, baby.
All right.
I mean, you could go. It takes like 30 seconds. You can go to the out screen.
All right. So we're rating someone
See you,
random.
everybody.
We're rating someone random. We're gonna go to our outro. We will see you in 2 weeks for a live show, and in 1 week for a recap show. See you soon, everybody. Enjoy the raid. Say that we sent you, and that also top down tabletop sent you. Woo!
There you go.
Here we go. See ya.
Woo! Bye.